towards the end, 2016, 17, 18, it was more of the DH situation. Basically, he started the DH thing, pretty not early in his career, but not too late. But Joe Mauer gets in, and we were comparing his stats to Buster Posey. Obviously, Buster's got the hardware in terms of the championships, and Joe Mauer does not. But Joe Mauer has a better WAR, 55.2 WAR than Buster Posey. He really all of his stats are better, right? He's got obviously more plate appearances. Buster had more home runs than Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer had 143 and Buster had 158. So, I'm just looking here. Joe Mauer RBIs 923. You have Buster RBI 729, but he's first ballot. So to me, a little bit better versus Buster Posey with the 3 rings. You got to think that Buster gets in.
Right.
They are so similar.
Yeah.
They were both. Joe Mauer was a 6-time All-Star. Buster Posey was a 7-time All-Star. Obviously, Buster's got the World Series. Joe Mauer, a 5-time Silver Slugger. Buster Posey, a 5-time Silver Slugger. Buster Posey, 1 Golden Glove. Joe Mauer, 3 Golden Gloves. I don't know how Buster only has 1. Joe Mauer, 3 batting titles, okay? And Buster has 1 batting title, and they both have 1 MVP. So to me, you add what Buster has similar to Joe Mauer on top of the fact that Buster has those World Series, 3-time World Series. He was also a Rookie of the Year for whatever that matters. Buster's got to be first ballot.
100%.
I would think so.
No question. To me, the hardware is the thing that, it's easy. For him to be, if you look at the through line of those championships as well, it's Buster at the head of it all. So there's no question. I didn't think there really was any question, but Joe Mauer getting in pretty much, to me,
it's the first ballot thing. Yeah, it's the first ballot thing for me. And I think a lot of people wondered.
Absolutely.
Some people wonder, would Buster get in? I had somebody respond to me and say, well, his stats compared to other stats.
Sure, but
we know it's not. Look, if there's one thing Major League Baseball doesn't stay true to, it's a formula.
Yeah.
There's no formula, right?
Especially not for the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So for Buster Posey and what he did for that Giants franchise, being part of that battery, not just he wasn't a left fielder with 3 rings and are those stats good enough? He's the catcher. He is the captain of that defense for all those years. He's caught some of the best pitchers in the history of the game.
Perfect games.
The perfect games, the Bumgarner,
Game 7,
crazy Game 7. So Buster Posey was a part of all of that. I think he gets in first ballot, but we shall see.
Random question. I might as well ask since we're talking about it. Who knows when we'll talk about Game 7 again. Where were you for that Game 7?
Yeah.
I will never forget.
I was at one of my local spots. This was when I was still in the tech. So I was in the financial district of San Francisco, got off of work, was watching, and I'm thinking, this is crazy. This is insane.
So where did you actually watch the game happen?
It was a restaurant that is no longer
really. And it was just, I assume it was popping. Like everywhere had to be popping, especially that.
Yes, it was a Burmese restaurant that like everybody would go to
was
to
at
go
the bar, probably,
and grab some refreshments. And it's gone now, but the memories will never go.
Yeah, I will never forget. There was a King. I think it might have been opening night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that timeline works out. It might have been opening night for the Kings, or it was I know it was in the throes of the relocation saga too, so it might have been like a, hey, we're officially staying kind of thing or something. I remember there was a really big game at, this is probably Sleep Train Arena or might have been Power Balance Pavilion at the time, and it was just so crazy to see. They showed the scoreboard. I remember the final score up on the Kings scoreboard, and the entire crowd went crazy. And it was just so weird to experience. At the time, they had the club level up on top of the second deck, and you could just hear people cheering, and it was just weird to see like some people cheering for a game that wasn't in the arena that they were. I think when they actually won, like when the final pitch was made, it was during a free throw, and like the entire, I say the entire crowd. It was like 10,000 people maybe at that time, just going nuts. And it was incredible. And it was a moment I will never forget. People high-fiving in the stands. I think I saw a couple people crying in the stands as well. It was nuts.
Yeah. He's going out there and you're thinking, all right, and I hate
innings,
right.
one inning, maybe even.
And I hate to be the get off my lawn guy, but this is the type of stuff you don't see anymore, right? We just had that with Snell a couple years ago, and what was that, the COVID year? And he gets pulled, and the Rays lose. So that is the baseball that we all know and love. Now,
even them going against that Royals team, right? Like a team like that Royals team doesn't exist.
Not really. And that was when they had the 7, 8, 9, the punch of all those pitchers, all those relief pitchers. Lorenzo Cain was my dude.
Yeah, that's got to be like, that's the Alan Stiles mold. You were like, that if I'm going to make
first
MLB,
of all,
it's gonna be that.
Well, first of all, no, because the thing about Lorenzo Cain,
really fast.
He was like a smooth, what was he, 6'3" or something like that. So when you have these taller center fielders, right? When they say, "Oh wow," one thing that no one ever said about me because of my choppy running is like I always wanted to hear, man, that guy glides in the outfield.
He's like a gazelle out there.
I never heard that. Well, I heard, he can make the play. Yeah. He can make the play. He could make it look easier.
Flintstones run
but
out
he
there.
can make the play. I'm yabba dabba doing out there, just trying to make a play. But yeah, shout out to, and then how about this? The Kansas City Royals, they lose, and we talk about the revenge year and how it didn't work out for the Eagles and how it's really tough to come back. The Kansas City Royals actually did it.
That's true.
They lost and came right back and said, we're running this back and we're going to get what's ours as long as Bumgarner isn't over there. And it was an odd year. So Bumgarner was not there. So yeah, hopefully Buster gets in some of the best memories if you are a Giants fan or if you are a baseball fan, as we, kind of celebrate the guys that did get in. I know a lot of people are low on the Hall of Fame, especially out here if you are a Giants fan, and Barry Bonds and all that. It's still wild to me that they have, is it a Barry Bonds helmet? Or they have Barry Bonds equipment in Cooperstown.
Yeah. Very strange.
I don't get that.
Yeah. It's either got to be all or nothing.
I don't understand that at all.
Is it from his hit from the record-breaking hit?
But I don't get that.
That makes no sense.
So hopefully one of the Giants can get in. Yeah, hopefully Buster Posey can get in. But yeah, Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, Jim Leland. Jim Leland, by the way, he coached. Was he the manager of the Tigers when the Giants beat them?
Yeah.
That feels right. That feels right. So shout out to Jim Leland for getting in as well. We will see what happens when Buster is able to put his name in the hat. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we have a lot of Kings to talk about. Also, Niner fans, I got to go back and forth. I had a back and forth with a Niner fan, and honestly, I understand why you're upset about some of the Brock Purdy stuff, but I honestly just want to know, what is it that you want? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
For the final time in the regular season, the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors collide.
Accelerates front court, gives to Lyles on the run, into the lane, drops to Herder, to McGee. Crank it up, throw it down, big fella, JaVale McGee for a full windup and a two-hand ripperoo.
Join the G-Man for the call Thursday at 7 as the Kings and Warriors square off from San Francisco on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Brenden Nunes joins us at 10:30 in 15 minutes for a special early edition of Kings Roundtable. That will be a great time as the Kings get ready. And Chris, I haven't looked. I do know this is their longest road trip of the season, correct?
Yes.
So
7-game road trip is that's like some David Stern
there's
era
a lot
road
of,
trip.
like
That's
we said,
crazy.
there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, Dave was getting on Jason Ross and our beard. You could shave when they leave and come back and have a beard. That's how long they're going to be gone.
I
mean, a full beard, a rosé, a Rick Ross beard.
We're not going to be here when they come back.
That's right.
Probably. I mean, I guess knock on wood.
That's right. I'm going to be clout chasing in Vegas. We're going to get the best guests, okay? If the Niners get to Vegas, this show is going to another level. You are not. I'm telling you right now, Chris, don't let me get to Vegas, man.
Okay.
I am shameless out there. I am shameless. Anybody on Radio Row, the guests are going to be out of control.
Oh, yeah.
Brock, please.
Yeah.
Please, I need to get to Vegas.
Yeah. Alan's going to ask every single guest, so what's your take on Brock Purdy?
Yeah, what's your take?
What are you doing for the Brock Purdy movement?
Yeah.
Huh? What are you doing?
Steve Young,
How are you?
whoever I see.
Yeah.
All right, it's going down,
That's
and
crazy.
I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for my own gain.
No, Alan would never.
I'm doing it for the station.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the loyal listeners of Sactown Sports. I'm doing it for the Sac Chat.
Right.
I'm doing it for the Sactowners.
Mhm.
I'm doing it for everybody.
No.
I'm doing it for Simone.
what I'm
I'm doing it for Christopher Lott. I'm doing it for everybody.
How about me?
You're going to be with me. You're going to be with me.
Okay.
We're doing it together. You got to make sure you got your questions ready.
I know. That's
You
what
get
I'm
the questions-
most concerned
you get
about
the
by
questions.
far is that we're going to
I'm
get,
always doing
we're
it
gonna
for
get
you.
somebody
I'm
up here
doing
and
it for
be
you.
like,
I'm doing it for St. Robert basketball.
Shout out St. Robert. Shout out
It's
my people.
going down.
Yeah.
Please take care of business this weekend, Niners. Please. I beg of you.
Yeah.
All right. Kings are back on track now that they have beaten the Hawks. And albeit shorthanded, albeit in a who is the team, right? Are the Hawks, if you look at the different teams that are dealing with the most, not drama, but trade situations, right? It's got to be the Hawks right now, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, they have Trae Young, like you said yesterday, Trae Young got put into some, hey, Trae Young and Zach LaVine are the two best fits for the Lakers talk. You got DeJounte Murray, who, we talked about this morning on the crosstalk. Sadiq Bey, I've seen put in there. Jason Ross put in there. DeAndre Hunter's a name that's been thrown out there. Clint Capella's a name. Pretty much their entire starting rotation is out there. And I don't even think they have, Jalen Johnson. That's right. I was like, I don't even think they have an untouchable.
He was the untouchable.
untouchable.
Really, just because he's the youngest?
He's the youngest. That's literally it.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same way Keegan is untouchable, Jalen Johnson, I'm sure, is the same kind of untouchable, where it's like, we definitely don't want to move on from him, but if you're going to give us Giannis Antetokounmpo for Jalen Johnson, well, I'm going to pack Jalen Johnson's bags.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Atlanta, and I don't know. Maybe Chicago's a close second. Washington, I guess.
Chicago's gotten quiet.
Yeah. But, I mean, and it's because those teams are in the play-in at least, to where maybe they can convince
Not the
themselves.
Wizards.
Not the Wizards. That's the thing, is I think the Wizards should be the team that probably has the most guys on the block, but even then, they're no different than most teams.
I saw one thing, and it's just so hard to keep up with everything that's going on. But I did see that there was only, Bilal Coulibaly.
Right.
This is from Evan Sittery, the only untouchable player on the Wizards roster per Shams.
There you go.
Okay, a potential fire sale incoming from Washington. That
And that's
was
the same
January 22nd. That was 2 days ago. So they have one untouchable. So
their rookie. He's their rookie.
Yes,
it's the
exactly.
same thing
So
as
we
Jalen
just don't
Johnson.
know. And honestly, they probably get the least, people don't know. You're not going to get that much value for somebody.
I mean, he's on a rookie contract too.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they're just super balling right now. So you look at the Wizards, and again, the problem isn't the sales. The problem isn't the quantity of sales and availability of players. The problem is the price tags on said players. I can only imagine, who's a better player to you, Kyle Kuzma or DeJounte Murray?
DeJounte.
Okay. But better question. Who's a better question? Don't laugh back there, Simone. I see you laughing. Fine. You have Kyle Kuzma or Dorian Finney-Smith?
Kyle Kuzma.
Okay.
Sure.
If they want, what did they want? They wanted a starter level player and a first rounder for Dorian Finney?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I guess the point I'm getting at is, are they looking, the Wizards, if you're doing a full fire sale, you need assets, right? So the same way that Oklahoma City did it with Paul George, you're probably going to want 2 firsts for Kyle Kuzma. And any way you go, you're either going to pay a lot of money like for Jeremy Grant, or you're going to give up first rounders. That's where we're at right now.
Definitely, yeah. And I kind of think that's why you're not seeing any moves done. I think it's why you hear a ton of rumors about things happening or about people talking, but not a lot of like, hey, they're progressing in talks, because the Kings shouldn't. I mean, if you're gonna, again, this is the Kings' really one move. They don't have a ton of extra assets to give up, and so if you're going to trade for Kyle Kuzma and get rid of those second round picks, you got to make sure Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant or Andrew, whoever it is, you got to make sure that's the right guy, because there's no pivot off of that. If next year you say, Kyle Kuzma just didn't work out for us, we got to try and ship him off for something else. Well, now you can't attach 2 first round picks for Kyle Kuzma because you sent him out to get Kyle Kuzma. And so it's just a really tough balancing act. And it's kind of the position the Kings are uniquely in, because a lot of teams, like you said, they have OKC not only has guys like Case and Wallace they can throw into trades, the other Jalen Williams they can throw into actual young player assets, Trey Mann, they have a war chest of picks on top of that. The Kings only have the picks. And so they're just really limited in the moves they can make. And, you know, I think it's just everybody's asking for draft picks, and the Kings have to be really selective about who they give those draft picks to.
Get into a break. When we get back, as promised, Kings Roundtable early edition. Get your coffee, okay? Get your scone, and get ready for Kings Roundtable with Brenden Nunes. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia, right here in Sacramento for over 25 years, or folsomlakekia.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
TruckSmart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration. February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We are joined by Brenden Nunes, Sactown Sports Kings Insiders. So it is our Kings Triangle today. But hopefully we can actually get some work done today with Frankie Cardicelli out.
Right.
Watching his Rangers hold that L. I'm sorry, Frankie. I'm sure you're listening. I'm sorry. Brenden Nunes, look, man, another day, another nothing burger from the Kings in terms of making a move. But you did see the Bucks make a move, getting rid of their head coach and getting Doc Rivers. Your thoughts on, there are a lot of comparisons to David Blatt, right? And David Blatt was in first place, but something just didn't look right. You bring in Ty Lue, and one thing I saw Mad Dog kind of discuss on First Take this morning is a lot of people don't really talk about the fact that David Blatt lost in the finals without it's always this conversation of how much is a coach needed, right? When you see Coach Mike Brown say, these guys got to take care of business, I'm telling them what to do. And for David Blatt to go to the finals, lose, you don't have Kyrie, you don't have Kevin Love. Next season, you're in first place, and they just say, yeah, it's not working. Is this really about X's and O's, or is it just Giannis being Giannis LeBron Antetokounmpo, and I just don't like this coach?
Yeah, I mean, I'd guess that it's more of the latter, and I don't know Giannis specifically or how much it has to do with Dame, but I'd imagine it has to do with more so kind of losing the locker room or those guys not wanting you to kind of be the lead decision maker when it comes to all the basketball related things that are going on there. And I'm kind of torn between saying, hey, props for recognizing it early and not trying to just like force the issue if you realize it's not happening, or do you need to write it out and give it a little bit of a chance? And I think it's a very fine line and hard to know without knowing the inner workings of the locker room and how they were really responding to him. But it's definitely a weird situation because while the Bucks are underperforming, I think relative to their expectations, they've started to figure out a little bit more. And, it's not a perfect roster, even though it's got some stars at the top, obviously. So it's definitely a weird situation. And I guess I kind of just assume that there's a lot going on behind the scenes and that the stars specifically, but also probably the latter guys, just kind of, he kind of lost the locker room. It seems to be the reporting. And I think when that's the case, it's pretty hard to recover from that.
Isn't that an interesting lesson though? I mean, I don't know if you can call it a lesson, but just, it made me think specifically about, it could be the Kings specifically, or really any team, just you're just because you have a winning record or things might look like they're going better, or you can say, oh, like, what are you talking about? We're the second seed in the Eastern Conference right now. What, they're 30-13 or whatever. What are you talking about? Nothing needs to be done. I mean, it's a sign that, you should never be satisfied. And if you feel like something's wrong, act on it. Don't just sit there. And if you feel like it could get worse by just sitting there, I mean, to turn this into a question about the Kings, like, is there a bit of a parallel here when you see the Bucks again having a good record, and the Kings have talked a lot about, hey, we have the same record as we did at this point last year, but it hasn't felt the same. And so would you say that there's a parallel between that and the Kings situation where, yes, just because they have a good record or the same record as they had last year doesn't mean that this is a good situation or a situation that we should just try and ride out?
Yeah, there's definitely parallels, like just to the extent of you never know fully what's going on behind the scenes or what internal expectations really are when it comes to a team. And I think that the Kings hope to be better than they were last year. And I think that the response of, hey, we're at the same point we were last year, in my eyes, sounds more like a response to the fan base and maybe some of the media questions that they're getting about, underperforming and things like that. It seems like more of a response because obviously they wanted to be better than last year. And I think there's a outsider perspective of, well, you're pretty much the same roster. You're probably going to be about the same. But internally, of course, these guys think they're going to be better. And I think that's totally understandable. And with the Bucks parallel, like maybe they thought that they would be better at this certain point. I think back to the Terry Stotts situation a lot, kind of when that happened.
Crazy.
And, how does this factor in at all? Or you never know when it's really started. And this was sort of the final straw, sort of. I'd imagine that this wasn't just a impulsive one thing happened, okay, you're out of here. And obviously sometimes that does take place. But you definitely never fully know what's going on behind the scenes and what each person's internal expectations are, not just for themselves as a player or a coach or front office, but as a team in general.
Yeah. And the other part of that is basically what I've heard is after they lost to, because what are they, 0-4 against the Pacers? When something happened when they got blown out in the in-season tournament against the Pacers. And that's when he tried to hold people accountable. They just weren't feeling it. And that's when things started to go left. I think, Chris, you make a great point. You always need to be striving. And we sit here and we say, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Right.
And it's true, right? And if you're the Bucks, second place might feel good to them. We know we've seen the Celtics lose finals. Don't get me wrong. But the Bucks are probably thinking, yeah, I'm not really trying to go to Boston for the Eastern Conference Finals. I want that one seed.
Right.
And if we don't think that our current head coach can help get us that one seed, we got to get him out of here,
or
right?
Forget the one seed. Like, just in general, I don't feel like this coach can help us beat the Celtics, period. Like, it doesn't matter if we're at home, on the road. Like, it's a sign of, if you don't think that you can win a playoff series or win the playoff series you want to be winning, why not make why wait? Why be like, oh, I'm not sure. If you are definitive or if you feel like things aren't trending in that direction, cut it out. Just cut it out now.
Well, and to that point, there's just really no time to waste. That's what we're talking about here. So, and we've had conversations about as far as the Kings, and hey, let's just see what happens when you see a team like the Bucks, who I guess are further down their window. When you go and get a mid-30s Damian Lillard, they are further down their window, and they have a better chance of winning the whole thing than the Kings. But it does go to show that these teams are not just waiting. Something is about to happen. I mean, Terry Rozier goes to the Miami Heat. We'll discuss DeJounte Murray and that price tag as we have you for the next hour. But does it make you feel any differently as far as the Kings and their perceived timeline? Or is it still, let's see what happens this season, right? The price, I mean, the market is absurd right now.
Right.
Everybody's, if I was on an NBA team right now, if somehow I finessed my way, I'd be worth the first round pick. That's what's going on right now. If you want to get Thanasis, that's a first round pick. Okay. Anybody want Thanasis at the Antetokounmpo? That's a first round pick. Do you feel any differently now, or is it just the market is just still a little bit too hot?
No, I mean, I don't feel too differently. Like, they're in a different timeline than the Bucks for sure. That's a totally different timeline. And I'll say what I said before. I don't think the Kings need to feel pressured or rushed, really. Like, everybody is locked up for 3+ years. Your entire starting five, you have at least this year and 2 more, Trey Lyles, you have one more season after this one. Malik Monk's the only guy in your top 7 that you don't have locked up long term, and I think they could offer him close to $19 million annually. That's something that you have to figure out in the offseason no matter, but I don't think you need to rush. And if the market is just messed up kind of in the way that you're saying, and I definitely understand why you're saying that, then maybe there's not the right reason to go and pull the trigger, I guess. And they're definitely going to be looking. We know that this front office is aggressive and searching for ways to get better. But if they don't make a move, like, I think that's fine. And I would trust that wasn't for a lack of trying. It's just they didn't see the right move. I keep going back to Buddy and Bagley were on this team for 2 seasons before, and the entire time everybody knew these guys are going to get traded eventually, and it was always like it's going to happen at this deadline, and it didn't, and then it's going to be like, oh well, it's for sure going to be this offseason, and it felt like there were like 3 or 4 of those periods before it finally happened, and so many rumors about where they could potentially go and who the Kings could get, and they were patient waiting for the right guy. And it's different now when you are a more relative team than back then when the Kings were really at the bottom of the barrel. And I guess then you're allowed a little bit more patience to an extent, but I think that they have proven that they are willing to do that. And if you don't see the right move, then I think that's the way to go. No move is better than the wrong move.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we haven't talked to you either since HB had his happening, his 32 points the other night. In general, what have you thought about HB's season so far? And I mean, if he is going to stick around here, I mean, what do you hope to see in this second 41 game stint from him? Hopefully not just one 30-point performance, but what are you hoping if he is going to stick around? And he's one of those guys, you talk about Marvin and Buddy being in trades.
Same thing
with HB, if not even longer. I mean, if he's going to stick around, how do they try and make this thing work better than it has, at least so far this season?
Yeah, it's funny. There's a 33-point game at the beginning of the year. There's a 20-point game, 20-something, light 20s in the middle of it. And then we just got that 32 piece. And in between, there's no other 20-point game, even
Crazy.
20 plus. And I think I looked at it last year. He had, I forget the exact number, but it's in the teens. Like he definitely was putting up 20-point games, at least here and there. And I do think that this is part of just the arc of a player's career. He's on the downswing a little bit. There's going to be some regression. We've seen it be a slow progress the last handful of years. But this was a pretty steep fall off from last year. And it doesn't seem to be like just skill set in my eyes. Like defensively, yes, we've seen him take a step back, but I think the level of aggression offensively hasn't really been there this season to the extent it was last year. I felt like there were often times last year where it's like, oh gosh, the Kings are in a rut right now offensively. They can't really get a bucket. HB would find a way to get to the free throw line. He'd have a random quarter where he gets to the line 2 times, and it's a big just controlling the momentum. And I don't feel like you're really seeing that. And I thought it was interesting post-game, Domantas Sabonis is talking about, I think HB has a mismatch most nights, and we should probably try to get him a little bit more involved.
We saw it in that Pacers game, right? I mean, the one possession that I think the only points he got all game was on a TJ McConnell post up, right?
Yeah. They definitely have throughout the course of the year. I think back to like Washington, they kept going in teams that are switching. It's like, all right, well, let's post up HB on Jordan Poole if we can get that matchup, obviously. So I don't know. It's interesting because then Mike Brown is also saying like it kind of has to happen naturally, because if I'm over there calling plays every single time, that takes us out of playing fast, which is one of their main identities, play fast together and physical. And you take them out of that playing fast by just drawing up plays and trying to make it a half court game every single time, that it's kind of a tough spot. So it's almost like he naturally needs to get involved a little bit more. And I think the players could maybe be more conscious of that, but you also don't want to be thinking like, gosh, like we just have to make sure to get this guy going tonight. They're trying to make the right play. And I think it really shouldn't matter who it goes to, but it feels like it should be HB's number just a little bit more, at least than it has been.
Yeah, Chris was looking
real
at the
quick.
touches.
Yeah, I'm looking at the points. Brenden mentioned the amount of times HB dropped 20 last year. It was in 20 games. He scored 20 points in 20 games last year. This year, it's only been 3 times.
Wow.
Still got a whole nother half of the season.
Yeah, right.
Something tells me he's not going to have 17 more. The rest
maybe
of
this awakens something in the team. Hey, this is that X factor. You know, he's not going to shoot like that every night, but we have to add more versatility.
I just want one quarter. That's what I felt like we used to get, is that there's a quarter a game where HB has, something like that. It'd be like first, second, right? It often was a first, I feel like. where he just has like 9 points in a quarter. You know, I just want one quarter where it's like, okay, that was HB's quarter.
Yeah. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, yeah, we're going to talk about it. There are some rumors swirling around, and it looked like a portion of Kings Nation was a little bit worried about De'Aaron Fox. We will discuss what we can when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
1 year ago, the San Francisco 49ers fell a game short of their goal to get to the Super Bowl. Now they are back in the NFC title game and hosting the Detroit Lions.
San Francisco is 1 win away from a trip to Las Vegas and a chance at the Lombardi Trophy. Don't miss a moment. Catch every play of the NFC Championship game Sunday at 3:30 here on your home of the San Francisco 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
On the putting green, when someone doesn't get their putt to the hole, someone else is bound to say, "Hit it, Alice." But who is Alice, and what did she do to get immortalized in a golf insult? Well, it turns out that Alice isn't a she, Alice is a he. It's Alice as in the late Peter Alice, the famous English golf broadcaster. He was a pretty good touring professional, and at the 1963 Ryder Cup, Alice played Arnold Palmer and Tony Lima, having with Lima and beating Palmer. At some point in that match, Alice, for whom putting was not a strength, badly missed a 3-foot putt. Someone in the gallery yelled out, "Nice putt, Alice." Alice explained that the BBC, where he did golf commentary, played a large part in burning the phrase into public consciousness. "I was never renowned for putting," he explained, "therefore I was an easy target for British comedy programs." Alice later gave golf lessons to Sean Connery for his match as James Bond in Goldfinger. So the next time you utter, "Hit it, Alice," just remember Peter Alice. May he rest in peace. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, "Let's go to the Good Feet store."
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, "I think I can help you." He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, as you know, it's a brand new year. The big question, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're keeping our traditions alive by continuing to offer the best savings on remaining new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs. Right now, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP, and even better yet, you don't have to make a payment for 90 days.
Well, that's a pretty big deal. $12,000 off MSRP on one of America's favorite trucks.
That's the difference between Hoblet and so many others. We are here to help you get the truck you need at the best possible price, and you won't find a better selection of new Rams with over 500 trucks available. At Hoblet, we want you to be a customer for life.
See their full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,000 total net savings after 6841 factory rebates and 5159 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased new case equipment from qualifying dealer. No payment for 90 days through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. 10 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Basically is the mayor of that city or of that town, and he wanted him gone. That's that's why I call him or Giannis LeBron Antetokounmpo. That's what's going on here. So unless somebody on that team, unless we feel like, and to how Brenden put it, lost the locker room, Mike Brown, which I truly don't think he has. No. Completely different situation. So I don't think you got to worry about that.
No.
There are some things going on though, and Jason Anderson put out an article 2 days ago, and it's like I said, he did it in the dead of the night. The only reason I saw it was because I was up with baby girl, and now it's starting to get some legs, and we have some Sam Amick sound that we will play a little bit later in the show where he discusses it. We know that when it comes to fans and media and players, fans are always going to side most of the time on the side of the players. I get that. But Brenden, we haven't really got to discuss since the article came out, just your take on where we're at with this. Is it overblown? And by the way, just walking back some of the Kings fans that we've seen on social media, on Reddit, worried about De'Aaron Fox and like the organization. I don't want to misspeak here, but I would like to let them know that I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah.
It ain't that deep. Right. We can't really go into the details too much, but from what we know, it ain't that deep.
Right. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's it seems to me that it's De'Aaron upset that after that New Orleans game where they got blown out by 50. And this all stems from the media side. And I think that they attempt, and I attempt to kind of try to speak for the fan base a little bit sometimes in those media sessions, is after they got blown out in Boston by who knows how much, Keon Ellis gets sent to the podium.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, that's not really fair. But I guess he was a backup point guard at the time. Like, it's not the worst thing.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, but it's real bad when it happens again.
We've seen it before, though.
Yes, for sure.
Which is also
it is bad for sure, but it's, kind of reaches another point when it happens again, when you get blown out at home against New Orleans.
When you're about to go on a long road trip as well.
And you're down like 40-50, getting
50.
totally beat
50.
by this team.
It was 50.
That you'd already lost 2-3 times. And Keon Ellis didn't play in this game until they were down 40, I think, at this point in the fourth quarter. And he only plays, I got to come up with a better term, but garbage time minutes, and then goes to the podium. And so Mike Brown kind of got asked about, well, I'll just start by saying that's not fair to Keon. And I think there's about 7 dudes on that team that could have talked. There's the typical starting 5, and there's Trey Lyles and Malik Monk. Yeah. Those guys play every single night that they're available, really. And I think it's not just a De'Aaron thing. It could have been any of those other guys. But De'Aaron got some crap for it after the fact for not showing up. And his frustration is that he didn't even get asked to do media that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so from his perspective, I'd imagine it's like why is everybody mad at me? I didn't even get asked to do this.
Yeah.
And now everybody's on me about it. And I think that it's just kind of, I guess, snowballed from there. And, you know, not going to speak to like where he's at mentally or anything right now, but that seemed to sort of be the peak of it, or what kind of started this not really preferring to speak to media. And that's where we're currently at, really. And we get one more practice today that I'm going to head to at noon, and we'll see. And then they're going to be gone on the longest road trip of the season.
So my question to that, and I don't think that there is an answer, but I think what you're saying is, I think, really, really great stuff. But do we have an answer to why De'Aaron chose to sit out those 16 press conferences or whatever, 16 days that it was?
Not really. My understanding is just that there was a frustration that stemmed from, again, that New Orleans game, where if he did not get asked, which is my understanding, that is unfair to him, that like, why is everybody on me? I didn't even get asked to do this.
Yeah.
And I think after even the Boston game, or it was some game previously in the year, I could be remembering specifically which one, he got asked like why he didn't do media. And he's like, well, I never turned it down. I just didn't get asked, you know? So I think there's kind of a frustration there, but that's really the extent of kind of what I got on that. And maybe that's building up. Like maybe there's behind the scenes stuff going on with him in his personal life. I'm not saying that there is, and I know about it. I'm not saying it. I genuinely have no clue, but like, I feel like it's important to acknowledge each person is human. And I feel like it's easy for people to kind of forget that, and you never know what somebody's going through, but this is a contractual obligation. So I get why this has become a big thing. You're losing 4 in a row, which I think got blown out of proportion a little bit, but I get it from a fan base perspective. And at that point, the fan base wants to hear from their franchise cornerstone. So I get the frustration from the fan base's side. But that's my understanding. I couldn't really tell you why it's extended as long as it has, but that's my understanding of like when it started.
Because it's just a little bit confusing that if you and I understand. I completely understand why De'Aaron would be upset for people being upset at something that he in that moment had no say over. But if you're upset about feeling as if something is being miscommunicated or you're being misunderstood, in my opinion, the best way of getting a more clear understanding is by coming out and saying it yourself. And so I think that's where I think De'Aaron loses a little bit of his legs to stand on there when it's okay. Yes, I'm upset about whatever the specific situation is. Well, if you're upset, like, I mean, he definitely let us know with that interview that he had breaking the 16-day streak, that pregame press conference showed all the frustration that he's feeling, but say something about it. I mean, to me, again, if you're really frustrated, no one likes anybody being passive aggressive. And it seems to me that's the approach that he's taken. And I understand why he would be upset, but I don't think that he's gone about it the right way.
Yeah, I definitely get that. There was like 5 years where the team sucked and he was talking to the Kings all the time.
Every time.
And he'd be really annoyed after losses. I always use him as honestly like a comparison of like one of my realizations of how normal these dudes are. Like there's days he clearly does not want to speak with us. And I think that's totally fine and normal human behavior. There's days I don't want to do certain things in my job. Sorry, Joe. You guys are great.
But isn't that why you get an allotted right? Well, let me ask this. What I've heard, I don't know if it's necessarily completely true or not, is that he was up against it as far as the NBA was concerned. So him talking to the media in that pregame, was it actually De'Aaron saying, I'm breaking this, or was it saying, I don't want to get fined?
Yes.
I think it was probably more of the latter, but that's just kind of guessing. And I don't really know because I'm not trying to like defend him. I'm just kind of trying to present the other side of like, you know, if he wants to eat a fine and not talk, he technically could do that. And like, I think that some people can kind of think that, and again, this is just me trying to think of presenting the other side, not saying that I believe this or anything. Is that like, I think some people could be like, well, why do I need to justify myself to you guys?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know, but like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to him. And if he wants to eat the fine, if it got to that point, and I'd imagine that talking pregame kind of reset that timer.
Yes.
Big Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined vibes.
Yes, very much so.
Which is hilarious to me. But yeah, I mean, if it doesn't help that it's also coming at a time where he's not playing well, and people want to hear about
the
that.
team's not playing well.
And and this is his contractual obligation. Like, I think that for the sake of the fan base, he should be out there. He should be talking. This is part of your contract. And I'd imagine that eventually this will all blow over, but I think there's just a level of frustration, and he could go out there and give us super short backhanded comments because he's done that before, and that's fine.
That is always my thing. All right, we got to get to a break. When we get back, we do have sound from Sam Amick. We're going to keep this conversation going. And again, the beef is not as deep as you think. To all the Kings fans, the Beam regime, everybody out there listening, at least as far as we know. Right, at least as far as we know, the beef with De'Aaron and this whole situation, I just saw some crazy stuff floating around. Some account said De'Aaron has unfollowed the Sacramento Kings on Instagram, and someone said, "Homie, he was never following the Kings, or that was 4 years ago." So we're trying to just give everybody clarity, as much clarity as we can. Keep listening. We will be right back. Stiles and Watkins, joined by Brenden Nunes, our Sactown Sports Insider. We'll be right back.
Join us for Championship Sunday as the Ravens host the Chiefs at noon and the Lions battle the 49ers at 3:30. The NFC and AFC Championship heard right here on your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 58, Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call, then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When it's chilly cold at night, don't just add another blanket. Add a new furnace system instead. Now for as low as $5,999 with 0% interest and no payments for 18 months. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Brenden Nunes joins us.
What's up? What's up?
Mm-hmm. Brenden, you got up early today? What's your coffee drink? What is that?
This is a flat
Let me guess.
white.
Oh, that's not what I was.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
A flat white, apparently. Yeah. I like to think of myself as more of a
Cappuccino,
curved
like
white, but this is a flat white,
Yes,
you know?
goodness.
So here we go. So so here's my thing. And look, if you were just now tuning in because we're shouting it out on Twitter, we got some deep info here, but I'm just like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Do you like ranch?
This feels so.
Wait, how do we give her coffee to ranch?
Because you
Is
got
the next
the
question mayo.
Because you got the mayo on the hot dog. You're drinking a flat white, which I've never heard of.
Yeah,
Are there egg
I
whites
got
in
put
there?
onto this
What
by
is that?
somebody else.
I'm
It's
just
like a-
saying. All right. I don't food shame.
It's
you
flat,
clearly
like
do.
something that's something to deal with the foam, right?
Sure.
Must be,
Honestly, I
right?
have no clue. I got put onto this drink like a week ago.
All right.
Okay. All right. Shout out flat white. I don't know. All right. Let's hear from Sam Amick
No
as
comment.
we get back into as we get back into the Kings talk. And a lot of this stuff is starting to get revealed as we go, and that's why we're here. We know that there are certain things, and obviously, you are listening to the flagship, and there are certain things that honestly, it's not even that we're not at liberty to say. It's that, have you ever played the game Telephone? I don't know. You guys are a bit younger than me. You guys played Telephone,
absolutely.
right? The ending message is always completely different.
Way different.
And we don't want to be associated with Telephone. So if it's not something that Brenden, Chris, or myself have heard
Or experienced
from being in there and understanding what's going on, we're not going to give you bad information because that's not good for you. And it definitely is not good for us. Let's hear from Sam Amick and what he had to say on the Athletic Pod.
And you see stuff. It's been a weird to and you never know. I don't want to connect dots that don't exist, but the tension and the energy is strange right now. You might have seen in the news this morning, and it was honestly a little slow to come to light. Like De'Aaron Fox has not spoken to the media he went 16 days without talking to the media.
What?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it
Why?
was that's the part that I do have a decent amount of clarity on it. I'm probably not going to share everything publicly, but it's like it's a weird one where he got criticized after they lost to New Orleans, and at one point they were down 50 in a home game a couple weeks back.
Yes, remember that. Yep.
And it got highlighted, and Mike Brown was asked essentially why in these one-sided blowout losses is your leadership council, which he's talked before about who that is. It's, I think, Fox and Sabonis. I forget who all is in it, but it's a small group of guys. So the question was basically, why don't these guys talk after blowout losses? They had Keon Ellis up at the podium. To me, it's a fair question, but I think in the wake of that, De'Aaron was upset with the way that he took some criticism there. It was reported in the Sacramento Bee today that night that he had actually not been asked to talk. He had a bad game, and they were trying to give him a night off, I believe. And it's a bad set of circumstances to where he just went dark. And so that's its own thing. But then you have, in a little speculation here, but like Harrison Barnes is not talking much. And it feels very much like, he's a grown man who's aware that he's on the block and doesn't feel like
he's been through this before.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not this ends, right?
Right.
Yep.
So it's like there's a lot of that. It's the anti-DeJounte Murray vibe, if you will. These guys are not taking it as well, I don't think, and everybody's playing the waiting game. So I don't know what they'll do. Lately, and some of this is out there. This is in your neck of the woods, DA. Some Kyle Kuzma chatter.
Yep.
That I think could be real. I think a Jeremy Grant kind of aspiration that Portland probably is not going to cooperate with. But they're aggressive, and I think they know they got to do something.
Whew.
Sam Amick, right? The
there.
Harrison Barnes thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've obviously been doing it this season. I don't know that I have been in a post game with Harrison Barnes. Now, I haven't been at every game.
Yeah.
But I can't recall one.
Well, it's funny. My first season was like the year that Buddy Hield was on his way out, and I think I talked to him like twice,
right?
The whole year,
right? So some of this is, I think that's why Harrison Barnes is getting a pass here, and why we're focusing more on De'Aaron Fox. But your initial thoughts to kind of what Sam broke down, and a lot of people are asking for more clarity. Some fans don't care. Some fans want to know. Some fans just want to know that, like we keep saying, it's not a actual beef with stuff on the court. It ain't a Bucks situation or anything like that. As far as we know, this is more of the things that you don't really like doing at work.
Right.
And just a matter of who, the blame, I guess for lack of a better term, the blame game, and whose responsibility is it in these situations where nobody wants to do anything. My initial thought when I'm De'Aaron is after a 50-point loss, right, the second time around, I understand where he's coming from, but are you telling me as he's leaving the building, he wasn't just a little bit relieved that he wasn't asked to speak, right? Are you telling me now if he didn't know that there was, because after the first time with Keon, a lot of people in the media brought it up, right? And so maybe he wasn't aware of that or whatever, but after the second time, you sure you just weren't a little relieved, right? I mean, give us something here. Give us something.
No, yeah, I think it's definitely, again, where De'Aaron kind of doesn't have a lot of legs to stand on, because I do think at some point you got to know, like, this is a little strange that I haven't even been asked. And I understand why he might feel like, hey, it's not my obligation to stand up and Spartacus this thing and say, I will speak for this team.
Hold on, because now it's like a movie, right? So they're in the locker room, heads down. Hey, Keon, do you want to come speak? Yeah. Keon starts to stand up. De'Aaron comes next to him, holds his shoulder.
Sit down, young pup.
Keon, you go home, man. I got this. And the music comes in.
And then HB puts a shoulder on Fox and says, no, Fox, I got this. Then Sabonis puts his shoulder on it. Just a long train of that.
Go ahead,
That's
Brenden.
what should have happened.
Your
thoughts.
Yeah. It sounds like a great movie. It sounds like what is it? Game of Zones?
Yes. Very much so.
It's very much
RIP, man.
like one of those episodes. I'll say I don't think that, I don't know, but like everyone's post-game locker routine is going to be different. And we don't know how many guys were aware that Keon was getting asked to go up. And so I get that initial frustration. And I don't think it's necessarily on him to be like, okay, I'm going to go talk today. Like he probably doesn't want to do it. He probably does not want to. And I don't think, I think that that's reasonable, but there is if you're asked, that there is kind of a contractual obligation. So I get frustrated with not being asked and then getting a bunch of crap for that. And, it extending on as long as it has, obviously, is its own different story. But, if he doesn't get asked and he's not really aware, his job is to go perform on the court. And yes, to talk to media when he's asked. But if he's not asked, then I don't think it's on him to go out of his way to do it. Now, I'll say like Domantas Sabonis does talk pretty much every single game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't talk at the podium, we're getting him in his locker.
He's a real one.
And, maybe his post-game routine is just a little different. Like he's got a long trek to get back home. Sure and I don't know what De'Aaron's trek is like, but I'd imagine it's not the same extent as Sabonis is. And, each person's post-game stuff is going to be a little different. Domas is doing a bunch of stuff, and then he'll talk to us at the very end of it. And De'Aaron seems to get out of there pretty quickly from what we can tell. So, that plays a factor, I guess, a little bit in some of this post-game stuff. And I do think he could take it on him to talk a little bit more, but I also understand a sense of frustration of it's not my responsibility to figure out when I should and should not be talking.
Yeah.
And so if I don't get asked,
somebody else's
then like,
if
you're somebody that's like, I'd rather not, and I don't get asked, then I probably would be happy about that.
No, I don't doubt it. And there is a part of this that maybe De'Aaron didn't know it was Keon. Maybe he thought it was, we don't know.
He probably didn't know.
Right. We're not in the locker rooms. I know you're in the locker rooms after that happens, right? But we don't know if it's, okay, well, I know I'm one of the leaders, but if it's Domas and HB, they got it. Domas and Herter, they got it, right? Whatever the case is. Maybe he didn't know it was Keon, but it's still tough for me because once you get, and I don't know how active he is on social media or whatever it is, you maybe not the first time, but the second time, which is when this whole thing started. Like I said, we love blame pie on this show. I think everybody gets a little bit of blame here. And ultimately, guys, this is what it comes down to. This is what happens when you trick off games. And this never happens if you're not down 50.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't happen because De'Aaron doesn't really mind talking. Not that he likes it after they win either, but he doesn't really. Is it a surprise that this boycott correlated with them playing like Basuda? Is it a surprise?
I
don't think so.
I want to add something else though to this whole media conversation that no one has brought up. I'm even surprised from the media side. another issue with the fact that we got Keon Ellis on that night was we only got Keon Ellis on that night. Typically, it is, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong,
players and
it is
coach.
NBA protocol to get 2 players and a coach. So not only was the one player we got sent not somebody who was satisfactory or somebody who frankly impacted the game on that night, or we would, want quotes from, no disrespect, Keon Ellis, but he was the only person. So not only were they in violation of just sending out 2 guys, you then violated a personal code or an unspoken code of, at least if you're only going to give us one guy, give us a Sabonis, give us a Fox, give us somebody that we can at least say, they only sent us one person, but it's fine. We can write tonight's story with Sabonis's quotes. We couldn't do anything with just getting Keon Ellis's quote. And then, Mike Brown pretty much said, you're going to have to ask somebody else. This ain't on me. Brenden, what I want to ask you, and maybe this is a lob of a question, but I think it's the other side of where I think a lot of fans are coming from. Brenden, why do we need to care about this? Why should I care that De'Aaron Fox isn't talking to media? Why do I care that after a 30-point loss, Keon Ellis is the one stepping up? I'm a fan. I care about the games. I don't even turn on NBC Sports. I don't look at the Kings YouTube to see their post-game press conferences. I don't care. I only care about the games. Why should I care about this?
Yeah, and I'd say that I think that fans were worried amid a 4-game losing streak, and that one of the most calming voices you could hear from, even if he's frustrated, would be De'Aaron Fox. Like, that's one of the guys that you want to hear from. And you're probably even growing more concerned as a fan when you're not hearing from him, is what I'd imagine. If somebody does not care about hearing from De'Aaron, then, that's its own thing. But in my mind, it's become a thing because he is the face of the franchise. And I would imagine, and definitely people correct me out there if I'm wrong, that most of the fan base wants to hear from him, especially when he's in a little bit of a rut and when the team is struggling a little bit. And again, it's a 4-game losing streak. It's not that bad, right? But there was some cause for concern with the way that those games were blown at the end of games. Yeah, for sure. The couple of definitely blown leads against higher caliber teams on your East Coast road trip. For sure, I get it. So I think it honestly has been a tricky situation for me, and kind of the first time I've dealt with something like this since being in media. And initially I kind of had the same thing of like, well, if a guy just doesn't want to talk for a little while, like, to each his own, but it is a contractual obligation. And I think the reason that it is because the fan base wants to hear from you.
Yes. That's the big thing to me.
Right. And honestly, I think fan bases are really stuck, right? Or they're conflicted, because on one end, we know that De'Aaron has a baby, and we know that he is a real person and he shouldn't be forced to do these things, right? And that's where a lot of fan bases will kind of bang on the media. But at the same time, maybe it's just the line. Maybe to whatever fan, it's a different line to where it's,
right,
oh, well, 4 losses, that's whatever. Like, you don't need to be on him for this, because I'm seeing right here from David Myers, why do we keep talking about media obligations? I'm more concerned with his play on court. Injury, David, there's no injury. They're not reporting an injury. So the only thing we can also think of is this correlation.
Well, and I'd say we'd have if he was able to come out and say there's no injury, that would help a lot too.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We had Mike Brown in the post-game presser say he talked about ups and downs. Okay. And he said De'Aaron is still young. We have said it on this show time and time again. I'm in the post game. Brendan's in the post game. We're posting articles. Chris does the post game. We're in the pregame. They're not saying anything as far as De'Aaron even being slightly banged up.
As a matter of fact, Sabonis yesterday, they asked him, or the other day, asked him, like, hey, De'Aaron's slumping a little bit. And he looked around and said, I don't think he's slumping at all.
Yeah.
And like, that would have been a perfect opportunity to, what almost sparked all of this was Malik saying, oh, bumps and bruises. Remember? De'Aaron Fox, bumps and bruises. We got to pick him up. None of that. None of that. So it doesn't seem like it's an injury at all. I will also give to kind of wrap a bow on it all and answer my own question in a bit. It's also important because it's a bit of, hey, it starts with we don't get De'Aaron at the podium, but it's also we don't get anybody on our show, and Sam Amick won't get anyone to do a hit piece, to do a feature piece on. Like, it's a slippery slope of, okay, you don't get him here, but it's also just the lack of access that fans are going to get is going to be less and less and less the more and more that we try and normalize this. If you enjoy reading long features on Keegan Murray, Anthony Slater just had one in The Athletic. All that stuff happens because we are given the availability to speak to these guys. And if they're going to continue to hide or to not be asked to do media, fans aren't going to get the coverage that they want.
We just can't, like, the thing for me, and we got to get to it, Simone's giving me the Damian Lillard and or the Tyrese Halliburton. The bottom line is, if you want to be one of those franchise guys, and I hate to do it because he's Chris's favorite player, obviously I'm joking around, but Steph Curry stands on business. Compare the 2 seasons. Compare the 2 seasons. Right. You have one rough spurt and you go dark, and Steph Curry is out there as having the team is a complete mess. Yeah. And he's out there in blowouts. He's out there. Klay Thompson is out there darn near in tears. And you can't handle softball questions like it's the NCAA World Series? Give me a break. We got to get to a break. When we get back, finishing the conversation, one more segment, and we'll get into some trade discussion. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Justice Goto on the Sac Chat. Stop it, Stiles. You're going to have to be more specific.
I was going to say.
Because we ain't stopping. We go until 2 p.m. Brenden Nunes, though, has one more segment with us. Been great, Brenden. Thank you for all of your insights. Are we good? Are we good on it? Are we good on it? Okay. Okay.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
Sorry, I know.
Let's keep it going.
I'm trying to move on from this topic too, but I'll say that when it comes to him speaking with the media, is that yes, they get paid a lot to be really freaking good at basketball.
Yes.
Yeah. But a big reason that the NBA has the finances that they do is because of these big fan bases. And so I think that's where sort of the obligation, quote unquote, comes in, is that technically these are kind of the reason that you're able to make the money that you are.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not that you owe them an explanation. I mean, to an extent, it kind of is, actually. And that's just kind of the one thing I wanted to add, is that part of this is because the fans are really the ones who make this happen. The NBA does not exist without its fan base.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's more so who he needs to speak to. And I think that's where media is coming from a lot as well, is that it comes off as like, we feel obligated that he has to speak with us. And really, we're the middleman.
We're the middleman.
Is really all it comes down to. So we can definitely move on, but just wanted to get that one out there.
Well, and again, though, I mean, to wrap a bow on it, I mean, it's the point of, like you guys said, I mean, people are wondering, is De'Aaron Fox hurt? Well, we haven't even spoken to De'Aaron Fox, so we can't, as Brendan's point, as the middleman, we can't tell you because we don't know.
Right.
And that's why it's so important.
I don't care about media availability. Is he hurt? Okay, well, his coach said he wasn't, but he hasn't said anything.
Right.
That's the end of the story. That's all. That's all we know.
Yeah.
That's all we know. I mean, I don't know if it's hurt. Like you said, Brenden, these people are humans. A lot can go on. You know, I always think about, to be completely honest, I always think about these different jobs where, and our job is kind of like that, but you can figure it out. But these different jobs to where you might be having a bad day, but it doesn't matter, right? The person that I always think when I was on my honeymoon, when you that person that like leads all the games, right? And they're like getting people pumped up.
Yeah.
It's like, what if that person's just having a terrible day?
Right.
They figure it out.
I mean, I'm sure they are.
And that person is not getting paid NBA money.
Sure isn't.
Okay. So to me, like, that's just why I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of leeway for this type of thing. It's very simple. Most of the time you give athlete speak anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And to be completely honest, it's now become a bigger deal because of the quote unquote boycott. If you had just said, man, I didn't even know people were upset about the Keon thing. All right, let's just keep it pushing, right? Wherever De'Aaron was trying to steer this, or wherever De'Aaron was trying to make it known he wasn't happy, all he did was make this a bigger deal. He could have just showed up next game and just said, all right, whatever. Hopefully we stop getting blown out by 50. And if we do, I know that that's what they want. I'm just going to go cry on my millions. That's just how I feel. And maybe it's too old school, but that's how I feel. Like I said, I'm talking about people in so many different jobs, and I hate to be that guy, but come on now. Come on.
Yeah. No.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. And to your point, Steph talks every game. And I think there's other guys around the league that are more closer to De'Aaron's side than Steph's side, for sure, that maybe are difficult to access. And I don't think like De'Aaron's alone in this necessarily. Obviously, to this extent would be different. But I guess the one thing I'll add is, Steph's getting asked to.
Sure. Right.
There you go.
Raymond Ritter. Right. Best guy. And I think it's tough too, because I mean, whatever. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We've talked about this enough. And I get it.
I think that, to work this as a transition is that I don't think that this sort of stuff is affecting on-court play, and not necessarily at all. There could be some nights like when you're doing post-game or you're doing pregame and you're addressing this before the game. It wouldn't surprise me if that's in your head a little bit, like just going through warm-ups and stuff. I'd imagine that was before his warm-ups that took place. But I'd imagine once you get out there that like this is all fine. And I don't think that this is like a reason to be worried about the Sacramento Kings.
No,
you know what I mean?
I think there could be multiple things. There's the media part of it. There is something that we don't know that we're not going to speculate on, possibly.
Right.
I don't know. And then there's just his play on court.
Right.
You put all that into a pot and you have what's going on right now. And really, De'Aaron, Chris was looking at the numbers, and I know some of it may have happened. We're going to call it get your work in time instead of garbage time.
Okay.
Some of De'Aaron,
I like that.
He's maybe saved some of his numbers during get your work in time, right, Chris? But they're not as bad as, I guess, what we think. He just started out on such an elite level, and that's what Coach Mike Brown said during the postgame. He came out on a heater. So any type of drop-off, right, is going to look tougher than it really is. And we know the clutch time stats have been bad, but besides that, he's been rolling real quick before we get into some trade stuff. And at this point, we're just flying along here.
Ooh.
But All-Star, are you worried about De'Aaron Fox making the All-Star team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his odds are very good. I think that there's
just escalated so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. I mean, there's also a lot of, I don't know about not very good. It's probably like a coin flip nearly, like I don't have it all in front of me at the top of my mind, but like the other day I kind of went through and tried to lay out the guards and then lay out the forwards, and it's just less congested really when it comes to the forwards. And that's not to take anything away from De'Aaron. I think that he's been great. And I think Mike Brown's comments on like kind of why he's been struggling make a lot of sense to me as a potential reason. Like this is part of the growing process. Is this guy's 26. Last year it was, he's great in the clutch, but maybe these other first 2-3 quarters, he's not really doing it. Beginning of this year, we see him do it for pretty much the whole games. And now the next step in his development, again, a 26-year-old guy in his 7th year, is learning to do that consistently for 60 games. And then eventually you get to 70 or kind of that slow progression. So I think this is kind of part of the process of a guy learning and growing into a potential superstar. But for the All-Star question, I think his odds are pretty tough because the West is just super stacked. I think that there's definitely a chance that he still makes it, but I would say Domas is pretty close to, not a lock, but I feel pretty confident about Domas making it, and I have questions about De'Aaron.
What a switch.
Yeah.
Because we were complaining about the other way around, but, De'Aaron gets on a heater here, and you never know. All right, we're already up against it, Brenden. This has been great stuff. So we only have one trade question for you. Atlanta Hawks asking price for DeJounte Murray, first-round pick, 2 first-round pick, and a starting-level player. So basically Harrison Barnes and 2 first-round picks. You in or out?
Yeah, or if it's Kevin Huerter, like I think I'm in. I think DeJounte Murray is really, really good, man.
Gotta do it.
We just saw him cook in Golden One Center. I think the defense is there, even if it's fallen off a little bit this year. He could shoot fairly well.
Why is he going to play defense in Atlanta? Why am I going to waste my time doing that? Get him to Sacramento now. Brenden Nunes, Sactown Sports Kings Insider. Great stuff. If you missed the beginning of this segment, he was here for an hour, and you want to catch it, you can rewind on YouTube. We'll cut it up. We'll also have a separate segment on YouTube, and go to SactownSports.com to catch the segment if you want to hear about De'Aaron Fox and the media beef. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore.
Great selection, great factory financing and incentive.
And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Thanks again to Brenden Nunes, one of the hardest working members
Flat white.
Sactown Sports. Shout out to the flat white drink that Brenden came in drinking. He didn't even tell us what it tastes like.
No, he didn't.
He just said, I'm on it.
Yeah.
It's my new thing.
It's my new thing. It's the wave.
It's just the wave.
Dude.
It's just the wave. All right, I'll stick to my caramel macchiatos.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been cutting back on coffee.
I'm
Cold
actually
water.
just getting into it.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've
It's a
noticed
really wasteful habit.
Yeah, I tried to get out in the new year. I wasn't really in it, and then had the baby, and I was in it. I was in deep.
You would need it at that
I was in deep, and I'm trying to get back out of it because I've never needed it. I mean, you know me. I've never really.
No, you don't. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like I would need.
This thing comes free.
Yes.
Free of charge.
No. Shout out Phil's. So you have now here on the 916 from Chris the Mom. I don't think it's fair to compare Fox's media situation to Curry's because Curry is usually supported positively by media and NBA compared to the lack of love and exposure all around. Yet they want him to be exposed when it's negative. That's from Chris the Mom. Chris, that's not really a bad point.
No, it's not.
The only thing I would say is that you're talking about national and this is local.
Mm-hmm.
And all that the local media has tried to do is push De'Aaron Fox to another level and to write the best pieces and to speak the best about him to get him more pub in the national media. If this was about the national media, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But the only people writing for De'Aaron and the Kings, that's why it's Sacramento versus everybody.
Right.
It's Sacramento media trying to ride for
their guy,
De'Aaron and for their guy because there's been so many years when you didn't have a guy.
Yeah.
But you can't ride for your guy if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, and I think that there is a layer of this too that I'm not sure even the people within the organization fully understand because, I mean, frankly, we're so removed from the relocation saga. I think that there's, I mean, maybe this is personal too, but I just think that there should be a little bit of this situation's not the same either. Like with how connected this team is with this community, it feels like I wouldn't say there's an obligation from organization to city, but this team just means so much to the community that it's you know, maybe in other situations, like, I don't know when the last time Trae Young talked to the Atlanta media or not, but again, it just kind of feels like there's a different level of connection and relationship with the town and the city. And when the Kings thrive, I think the city of Sacramento thrives. You've seen that with Doco and with K Street in general, and just how much bigger Sacramento's gotten in the past couple of years, man. It's popping these days. And I think that also should lead to the Kings feeling like, hey, this community is the entire reason this team and this organization is here. Let's give the fans as much as they want. Of course, you know, you're going to have to limit something. You can't literally have, hey, this Friday, Malik Monk's going to be at Bel Air markets all across Sacramento. I understand that can't happen like it did in the old days all the time, but it just feels like there has been a little bit more disconnection between the organization and the city or the community. And I think a large part of that is because, and I think it's the nature of the NBA with how popular, I mean, the NBA is a lot more popular 10 years ago. I mean, just look at the valuation of what Vivek bought the team at versus what it's worth now. Clearly, these guys literally are worth more. Their time is worth more. But I mean, it just feels like it's been lost of, hey, like this team is supposed to be a part of the community. And I'm not saying the Kings do great community work, but it doesn't feel like the access has been the same as what it's been.
Yeah, I mean, look, it takes time, right? When a team isn't good and then it gets good, it's all growing pains, right? And hopefully they can get back on the right track. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to Bobby if you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Bobby who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Bobby? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got?
Hey, guys. Thank you. First off, I just love how you guys are always about the team and just sports first. That's awesome. It's good content. You guys keep that very consistent. So we appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Bobby. Thank you.
No, thank you. And just to this, guys, because we got to be honest, like leadership kind of rubs off and or affects the demeanor and the way your team is. And I hate to say it, guys, like we kind of, in one way or another, are kind of following suit with how he's behaving. And that's my question to the, that's the one kind of arsenal of his game where he's missing. It's like, hey, now it's time to grow up, be an adult. Because he's a bad man. I love De'Aaron. But now it's like, hey, lead by example. Because you guys show all the weaknesses you show kind of start to, they kind of look like they maybe look like their leader. So I don't know. I know that's a little deep, but it's a layered kind of observation on my end, because that's what I'm seeing, man. Like we're kind of a mentally weak team. So let's grow up. Let's that's a challenge too. But thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bobby. I'll take that. I mean, I think that he's dead on there. I mean, what have we said about De'Aaron's leadership? You know, obviously Mike Brown has wanted more from leadership in general, but what have we said about the kind of leader De'Aaron is? He's not a rah-rah. What kind of leader is he? He's a lead by example guy. Well, think about the example that he's setting. And to Bobby's point, if that's what you want your team to follow, you're getting exactly what you're asking for. And, you know, I'm going to quote one of the only movies I've ever seen. Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Right.
And I think it's a bit of that. Like
great pull.
Hey man, I don't have many, but I'm going to pull the ones that I can. And I think that's a great point that, I mean, yeah, De'Aaron has really struggled, you know, forget all this off the court stuff that seems to have stemmed from the New Orleans game after the New Orleans game. Let's not forget that the New Orleans game was a 50-point blowout. Like this thing has been going on for a while, and De'Aaron's struggles have been going on for a while. Looking at his numbers, I think Biederman pointed it out the other day. December, he was averaging 29.3 points on 47% from the field and 43% from three. In January, which is 11 games now, which is a decent sample size, 21 points per game, 41% from the field, 35%. And so whatever's happening, it's affecting the on the court. And I think, I mean, it's everybody deals with stuff throughout the regular season. Again, look what Golden State's going through right now. Of course, that's an extreme example, but everybody has to deal with off the court stuff throughout the regular season. So if something is going on off the court, I mean, I really hate to be the guy to say, hey man, suck it up. Everybody goes through stuff. But I mean, at the same time, yeah, man, everybody goes through stuff, and you can't let it affect your job. Like, I know it's really, really hard, but this is where I will usually never use this as an argument against a player, but it's what you get paid all that money for, is to push as much of that aside as you can and not let it affect your play.
Yeah, that is, look, and like we said, Coach Mike Brown even talked about the growth from De'Aaron Fox and how he's still a young player.
Absolutely.
And we talk so much about maturation on the court. But becoming a superstar and growing into a franchise player, you have to deal with the off the court stuff too. Totally. And maybe it's not fair to compare him to one of the greatest players of all time in Steph Curry. Fine. So let's not do that. But there are other franchise players out there, right? And a lot of these franchise players are younger, so they get more of a pass. He's right in that sweet spot to where half of us will say, he should already be figuring it out, and the other half of us will say, well, he's still kind of young, and this is the limit here. He's 26 years old. After that, I mean, he got one more year of mid-20s.
Yeah.
Okay, he's in his last year of mid-20s.
Seventh NBA season right now.
Seventh NBA season. You said, in your opinion, arguably his third to fourth year as the franchise guy. I would say his second year as a franchise guy, as a winner.
Yes,
which
I think turns you into a franchise. It's one thing to be face of the franchise. I thought about this after you asked. Face of the franchise is completely different than franchise player.
LaMelo Ball is the face of the Charlotte Hornets franchise. That means nothing, right? That if people on LinkedIn that say I'm owner and CEO of Allen Styles Inc.
Right.
Well, what is that valued at right now, right? It's not valued at very much. So now that they are moving into the direction of we're the Kings, we have a name, we're trying to really take this thing to the next level. De'Aaron has to take that thing to the next level as well, not just on the court, but off the court as well. That's just what it comes down to. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, the asking price for DeJounte Murray. Is it too much? Is it just enough? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
This year, wouldn't you like to stop feeling self-conscious about your receding hairline or thinning hair and to start feeling confident with the way you look? Millions of men and women around the world trust Hair Grow from New Nordic as an effective way to get thicker looking hair. Hair Grow is backed by an exclusive U.S. patent and is clinically proven to promote more hair growth. One actual Hair Grow customer writes, "After trying Hair Grow for a month and a half, my hair began to grow and thicken with no breakage when combing or shampooing. My hair is beginning to look great." Another writes, "A friend of mine noticed lots of increased hair growth. I couldn't be happier with the results and highly recommend this product for anyone with thin hair." Start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow. Ask for Hair Grow at your local Walgreens or shop online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. That's new, NORDIC USA.com. Amazon, or ask for Hair Grow at your local Walgreens. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
The names are starting to shrivel a little bit and shrink, but a name that has remained strong and remained true, DeJounte Murray, connected to every team in the National Basketball Association, 2 first-round picks, and a starting level player. Chris Watkins, you are in on that?
Yeah, I like it. I think, DeJounte, if I just think about, if you're just taking one starter, and by one starter, we know it's either Kevin Huerter or Harrison Barnes, and you're throwing in 2 first-round picks, I think it's worth it for a guy like DeJounte. Again, if you talk about, if we're going to send off 2 first-round picks to get Kyle Kuzma, 2 first-round picks or more to get Jeremy Grant, I think you're going to get as good of a player in DeJounte Murray. And I still think, though, it doesn't make sense to bring in, it might not on the surface look like a lot of sense to bring in another guard. I think this team desperately needs another ball handler. It's really De'Aaron and Malik who can have the ball in their hand and create a shot for themselves or others.
Yeah.
And yes, that play. And, I just think you can definitely use a third. And then you have a lineup every single time that has at least 2 ball handlers. You can you can stagger Fox and DeJounte Murray. Can't say Murray, DeJounte, or you can have Monk and DeJounte. You can have Monk and Fox. I mean, you always have at least 2 of those guys out there. And I think that's something that this team really needs, is a dude who, so besides De'Aaron or besides Malik, that can get a bucket by themselves, or again, drive the lane and create an opening for Keegan or for HB or whoever is the remaining starter. I think you brought it up in the morning. The only thing questionable then is, well, who replaces? Let's say it is HB that they send off. Who's the guy that they fill HB's spot with?
Right.
Because then it becomes Trey Lyles into the starting lineup. But then who do you replace as Trey Lyles' spot in the back? Is that how Sasha enters the rotation? And then does that solve your problem of, well, the Kings have gotten killed by length, and teams like New Orleans and teams like the Clippers, are you any closer to beating teams like that? I think is a fair question.
And why would the Hawks want HB over Kevin Huerter?
Great question.
Right. I feel like
I don't have an answer to that
It's
question.
an easier swap if you just say Kevin Huerter out, DeJounte in, because I don't know why. First of all, we've said multiple times, I don't know what the Hawks are trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
But
kind of like
so
Chicago,
maybe
right?
that's why Harrison would be in play, because they don't think that they're fire sailing.
Right.
I don't know.
I think Huerter obviously makes a lot of sense because of the familiarity. I think maybe the problem still exists of why they shipped him off in the first place, of like, there's not really a ton of minutes for him, I guess, like Bogey, with how Bogey's been playing. And then you add Kevin. I think Bogey and Kevin have a bit of redundancy with what they're asked to do over there. So I don't know if that problem's necessarily fixed. And then you still have, DeAndre Hunter, and you still have Sadiq Bey. Like, you still have a lot of guys who can maybe play that minute. So I don't know. It's not perfect. And then it becomes the question, which has to become the question for all Kings moves, is, okay, that's what the Kings can offer. But if the Lakers come down the road and say, hey, we can throw you D'Angelo Russell and 2 first-round picks, would you? Well, I kind of think, I don't know what I think, actually. Not D'Angelo Russell's probably the worst example for me personally, but you could imagine how Atlanta might say, oh, yeah, we like that piece, or feel like we can move that piece easier than we can move Harrison or Kevin Huerter.
And I know they want 2 first, because, again, they have no clue what they're trying to accomplish. But I say I would say Harrison Barnes, a first, and Davion Mitchell, because Davion, Trae Young plays no defense.
He sure doesn't.
Davion can be, I know you have two undersized guards, but they're not really going to play at the same time.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's possible.
They can't. Okay. The memes would be terrible, first of all. And shout out Zonts. So I think that you would have to. Davion's your backup. He's in a different offense now. He has shooters around him. He can get to the cup. He can distribute the basketball. He can defend.
Convince a fan base too. Like, hey, we just got a top 10 pick.
We got a top 10 pick. We got Harrison Barnes, who's going to keep these guys on the straight and narrow. You still have Capella for that P&R.
Yeah.
Get it done, Monty.
No, get it done for sure. I mean, and like I said, I asked this morning, the Atlanta Hawks own the Kings first round, or have the protections on the Kings first round pick this year. So maybe it could be as simple as just, hey, remove it seems like Atlanta's already going to get that pick. I think it's either top 14 or top 16 protected. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the rest of this Kings season goes, but it appears the Kings are going to give them that pick anyways. Maybe you can remove some of those protections and that does something for Atlanta. Maybe it takes off some of the asking price or something, but yeah, I think Atlanta makes a lot of sense to make a deal with. And you have the history too. I mean, you've already made the Kevin Huerter deal, so there might be a level of connection or trust between the two front offices that's already there. When you see clearly, when you have guys like Masai Ujiri out there, people are always going to be hesitant to, all right, where's this guy going to try and get over on me? And, clearly if there's already a history there, you probably don't have those feelings.
I know I'm not getting off my no move train. But I do feel like in a lot of things in life with me, maybe I made the call too soon, because things are continuing to come out. This is from Woj. This is per Woj on his pod. The Hornets are willing to take on unwanted contracts at the trade deadline in exchange for draft capital. Charlotte is fully embracing a reset. This is from Evan Sideri. Charlotte is fully embracing a reset around LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Mark Williams as their foundational building blocks. I'm already seeing that look, I'm not even trying to put this name out here. I know how everybody feels. Right. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to speak on it, but the Suns plan to be active on the trade and buyout market to tweak their roster. This is from John Gambadoro, who is a longtime radio host for Arizona Sports.
Oh, yeah, sister station.
That's right. And Miles Bridges is a legitimate target who they feel comfortable, tough word there, giving up assets for, even as a rental for the remainder of the season. Yikes. That's kind of a yikes there.
Yeah.
A rental yikes?
Yeah, that's a and from what I understand too, Charlotte's just out on Bridges in general. Like, they're not going to re-sign him in free agency.
Might as well. So. You're going to don't. Why?
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one, but I think that if Charlotte's in the position to take on contracts, that'll be interesting, because that could be a breaking case of emergency, if you will, and that'll tell you truly how they feel about Harrison Barnes' contract. I don't think Harrison Barnes' contract is terrible. It's definitely not great. I mean, $17 million this year. I think he makes 18 and then 19 the year after. It's not ideal, but it's not like a back-breaking, Tobias Harris, I think, is getting $34 million per year. It's not like it's something that you have to move on from. So that would be interesting. And again, that would probably, I think Kevin Huerter and Harrison are really the only guys who you might consider being in that category of, hey, we're just trying to get off this contract. But even then, I don't think that they're that bad of contracts that you would attach. Because, I mean, what Charlotte's essentially saying there is, give us Harrison Barnes and a first-round pick, and we'll send you PJ Washington, or we'll send you whoever you want, JT Thor. I don't care. Yeah. We're really just in a position of, we have tons of cap space. We have to hit the cap floor. And if you're willing to attach a first-round pick to just give us that player, sure, you can have whatever you want.
The Hornets are really using all of LaMelo's youth to try to figure this out. I mean, he's going to be like 27 by the time they actually possibly figure it out. 916-339-1140 on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Let's get out to Sam, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got?
Hi, guys. Hey, good morning. Well, two things. number one, if Murray cannot basically get along with the amount of minutes with the guy, I just slipped his name, the guard from Atlanta,
Trae Young.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how he will fit in with Fox here, but I'm a very firm believer that what the Kings really need is somebody to go along with DeMontis down below, replace Harrison Barnes with a stronger person that can get us 10 to 12 points a night, 8 to 10 rebounds, and take a little bit of the load off of DeMontis, and I think we'll be okay with what we have. But I'm really not looking for, I don't think Murray will go along with Fox in that group. Although he's a good player, I'm just not sure if he'll fit in that category.
No, absolutely. You're definitely right. And I'm looking at his play-by-play splits right here. And in San Antonio, he played primarily point guard. His last year in San Antonio, he played 2,300 minutes. 92% of those came at the point guard position. Very next season, he gets traded to Atlanta. 29% at the point guard position, 70% at shooting guard, 1% at small forward. And then this year, it's been 35% at point guard. So he's played less point guard than he ever has in his career in Atlanta. And, to Sam's point, it's probably not a coincidence that, they feel like it just has not worked there. So it's a very, very fair question. And I also do agree the bigger need, and the names that we've been seeing the Kings linked to are definitely more of those Kuzmas, the Jeremy Grants, the forwards that Sam's talking about there. But I still do think, again, there is a need for another primary ball handler. And I think this would be going out of their way to address it. I don't know if it's their biggest need, probably to Sam's point, but it's still a need nonetheless that would make the team better. I think everybody's questioning what Sam's kind of presenting there is, but it makes you better, but is that the move that makes you the absolute bet? Like if you're trying to win a championship, I don't know if that's the first thing. If I'm making a list of the things that the Kings need to solve, I don't know if another playmaker is necessarily top 2 or 3 on the list.
No, honestly, I think it, and me, maybe I go too deep with this stuff. I think it is honestly, I know he passes the ball way more, but it might be too similar to a Halliburton situation.
No, absolutely.
Right. If you were in the camp of thinking that wouldn't work, why would you think that this would work? And I don't think that trades are the same as drafts to where it's get the best player available. No, because you need to make this work. You don't have time.
You're giving up assets
to figure it out. You're in the middle of the season. All right, got to get to a break. Going to take a quick break from Kings Talk to talk some Niners. I will give you a breakdown of what a quarterback coach said about Brock Purdy, and I didn't think there was any issues with it, but of course, Niners fans thought it wasn't enough. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
For the final time in the regular season, the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors collide.
Accelerates front court, gives to Lyles on the run, into the lane, drops to Herter, to McGee. Crank it up, throw it down, big fella, to Bale McGee with a full wind-up and a two-hand ripperoo.
Join the G-Man for the call Thursday at 7 as the Kings and Warriors square off from San Francisco on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 to Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
It took all 60 minutes, but the 49ers found a way to dispose of Green Bay.
1:30 and rolling to play in the game. Purdy takes it, hands off to McCaffrey off the left side, breaks a tackle, touchdown!
Next up in their quest for another Super Bowl title is a major roadblock with the Lions. San Francisco hosts Detroit Sunday at 3:30 in the NFC title game.
You can hear all the action right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Are you a habitual underachiever looking to add to your small amount of success? Then you might be Doc Rivers.
Oh, my God.
Who found a way to finesse his way onto arguably one of the best, not even arguably, one of the best NBA teams in the league, with arguably the best player in the league. Doc Rivers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, he has definitely walked into some pretty great basketball situations. I mean, I really don't know how else you could really describe it. I mean, he had a couple lean years with the Celtics before eventually turning that thing into a champion when they made all those moves. Mm-hmm. But immediately after that, going to LA with Lob City pretty much fully in place.
And what do you do?
They really didn't do much. They really didn't do much. I don't know how many.
How many championships is Doc?
Well, one, I believe.
He's got one.
Is what he's got. Yeah.
The one that they won't stop talking about in Boston.
Oh yeah, it's one that apparently is worth 20.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, great. I mean, it was a great year. It was a great year, but that team definitely talks the most. I mean, you almost never hear from that, like, what was that, 03-04 Pistons team? Never hear from them. You don't hear Chauncey Billups saying, we're the only team to ever beat Shaq and Kobe before. That's not how Chauncey Billups sounds at all. But you never hear as much as you hear from that 08 Celtics team. But yeah, Doc has definitely been someone who's just had the best basketball situations possible.
And then don't forget the Sixers.
No, I have not forgotten the Sixers. I definitely have not forgotten the Sixers. He was supposed to be the final piece, right? He was supposed to be the thing that brought it all together. And I don't know. It kind of brings up the question of, we talk about rah-rah or X's and O's guys. Which one are you for? Doc is really the ultimate players coach. And I think he's definitely more so focused on keeping the guys happy. And he's like, he's a Steve Kerr kind of coach. He's there to keep the vibes right and keep the stars happy. And we'll see. I mean, at the very least, he's got tons of experience doing that and, massaging this Dame Giannis relationship, which doesn't seem to be fractured at all. It just seems like it's purely on the floor. I don't think it'll be that hard of a task for him, frankly.
Well, I mean, right. And look, are these the type of days to make you – now, none of his teams were as good as the Warriors, but does it make you, if you were hey, Steve Kerr didn't have to do anything,
right?
At least Steve Kerr did win with his super teams. I mean, I'm looking at he went to the final. He won the NBA championship. Doc did. Yep. He went to the finals twice with the Celtics.
Right.
He never went to the finals with the Clippers.
Not once.
And he never went to the finals with the Sixers.
Nope, not once. But a couple of conference finals, and he
where he lost.
Yeah.
Look at this.
He also fumbled. I mean, I wouldn't say he directly fumbled, but I mean, for them to not handle that Jimmy Butler situation in the right way. And then, I mean, I will say Doc also got some tough stretch. He got the Jimmy Butler thing and then to deal with the Ben Simmons thing and then to ship Ben Simmons for James Harden and to make that work. I mean,
he's not even getting to the conference finals. He's not even getting the last time I'm looking here. When is the last time Doc was in the conference finals was 2022.
Okay. 2 years ago.
No, sorry. 2012.
Oh, okay. That's a
the
lot
conference
different.
finals. The 2012.
Okay.
He after that lost in the first round, lost in the conference semis, lost in the conference semis, lost in the first round, lost in the first round, missed the playoffs, lost in the first round, lost in the conference semis, lost in the conference semis, lost in the conference semis, lost in the conference semis.
So he has not been to the conference finals since he was on the Celtics.
That is correct.
Yeah. That's not great. And I think LeBron ended that run.
This is why being a name and PR is so important.
Sure.
Because that's how you put money in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmy and the Joes.
I think the only question I would have is what year was he supposed to win, though? Like, because I mean,
any of this. I mean, Chris, I'm okay. I'll lower the bar. You got to get to the conference finals with the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, fair? He definitely should have reached it once, but again, there's nuance there. I mean, Joel Embiid has been incredibly unhealthy
until
recently.
Agent?
No, I'm just saying. I just think that this thing is hard, and we shouldn't criticize a dude just because he didn't win a title. There's other marks of success.
I didn't say a title. I lowered it.
No, totally, and you're right. I would say Doc Rivers is probably a tad bit overrated, but I'm not going to go out here and say he's a bad coach.
Do you think? Okay, it's a safe option. I get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
They should have hired Nick Nurse. I said this the other day. I mean, that was the move. Was instead of
Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse.
That's too bad. He must not like championships then. Yeah.
He liked the.
He's the reason why Coach Bud. I mean, to your point, Giannis, LeBron to Tacumpo or
Giannis, LeBron to Tacumpo.
Coach is gone. He got Drew Holiday gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's torn that situation.
But he likes
apart.
Oreos and he's funny.
He's hilarious. He's got that bell, which. He's a wild boy. That guy is a wild, wild guy. But
you think about it when you get
I forgot about that the other day, too.
You think about it when you go home.
You
think about it.
I love Giannis. I think he's hilarious.
Everybody loves Giannis.
If anything, I think you pointed at this a little bit yesterday. He's definitely like media or whatever fans are letting him slide because what he's doing, what he's done this in just the past really year, I mean, has just been it's been tough to back. I mean, he has really Thanos that entire organization. I mean, the first round playoff exit, the whole failure question. maybe I am a Giannis. I didn't think it was that bad, but it definitely wasn't great.
Yeah.
And then you have, how the offseason transpired and the Dame thing and, and then just how the situation has gone since Adrian Griffin got there. It's been a little bit LeBron-ish,
It's been very LeBron-ish.
Been a little bit David Blatt LeBron-ish for sure. And it's I think people are starting to catch on for sure. I mean, I've just kind of caught on to it, and it's now getting to the point where Giannis, who I think is 27 or 28 now, dude's got to start winning. Dude's got to start winning more than one, because I mean that's how
he's
this
looking
thing works.
around. He's looking around. He's seeing these young bucks coming up. No pun intended. Not young bucks, but these young bulls coming up, and he's thinking, I probably need to cash in on this, because once the Celtics taste it, if they're able to get over that hump, that could be a problem.
Right. Absolutely.
That could be a problem.
Because you pointed out, they're all old. Like, you got 34, 35-year-old Dame. You got old Chris Middleton. You got old Brooke Lopez. And now you got old Doc Rivers, too. Like, that's a sign that they are acknowledging this window is tight.
It's tight.
And we got to capitalize.
I have a question for you guys. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No, we haven't heard enough from you today.
Not at all.
So if this is failure at the end of the season, who does it fall on? Does it fall on Doc?
That's a great question.
It's got to be on Giannis.
Well, whoever Giannis says, to put the blame on. Put the blame on Doc. I never wanted Doc.
Yeah.
I only wanted to get freaky.
Yeah.
I didn't want Doc.
It's
freaked out.
It's got to be on Giannis. Like, it's got to be. Like, if you're the reason why, Adrian Griffin was here in the first place, and now you're the reason why he's gone, and I think we said yesterday, I mean, I assume that decision wasn't made without Giannis's consultation. And I would assume that Doc Rivers being hired isn't being done without Giannis having a say. So I would say this all falls on Giannis, which
I would agree.
Really should. As another movie I've seen, Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility.
That's right. You're all over it. You're only seen a couple movies.
Your references are out of control.
Out of control. I've seen that movie too. That one's a great one.
All right. So
it's fantastic.
Okay, even if they lose to the Celtics, who we know have been fully loaded, right? Yeah, I think that they know. I think that's why they had to let go of Adrian Griffin, because they know we have a limited amount of time, and these Celtics aren't going away, right? So we got to try to capitalize. The West, I wonder how the East views the West. If maybe, hey, they got some up and comers, but they don't have a Kevin Durant Warriors juggernaut over there.
Right.
If we can get to the finals, I think we got to. The Celtics might be the toughest team that the Bucks have to play to get to to win a championship.
I mean, the Celtics are going to be like the East's final, or whoever. I mean, I assume it's going to be the Celtics in the finals, because to your point, like, the West is just going to slaughter each other.
Yeah,
like it's going to be tons of 6 and 7 game series, and barely getting through, and then you're going to get through the Western Finals and just get to the top of the mountain and be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm done. And then it's Giannis or the stacked Celtics, and you're like, I don't have it in me to slay another dragon.
And don't be disrespectful to the Sixers, even if you don't think they're going to get it done. They're just going to be annoying to get rid of, right?
They sound like they're active on the trade too. So
exactly. Got to get to a break when we get back from Joe Jaros, our guy. 6 coaches in 10 years for Giannis.
Woo!
That's a lot.
That's not nothing. Shout out J. Kidd.
A lot. Wow. Giannis, LeBron, Antetokounmpo. We'll be right back. We have an update on Deebo. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider, stopped in to give us an update while all the media for the Niners are going on right now, or maybe it is just now ending. Deebo, kind of confusing what's going on with Deebo. He did not practice today, but I think this is from Kyle Shanahan 26 minutes ago. Shoulder hurts. This is Kyle Shanahan on Deebo Samuel's injury. Samuel will be the only 49ers player that won't practice today. Shanahan said Deebo is feeling better today, which makes him feel better about Samuel possibly being able to play. I think that he's going to play, right? I mean, I just don't see him not playing. I think that we had a discussion about, hey, if he's not right, you want him right for the Super Bowl. Well, last time I checked, you get a week off. Right. You get essentially 2 weeks. So it's not like you're going right back into it. You know, we have sound from Stephen A basically saying that the Niners can't win without Deebo. And I don't know that he's far off, right? I just don't think we'll have to worry about it. Look, I don't have any inside sources besides what we're hearing. But, you know, Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider, what would be the word? There is some optimism.
Yes. Internal
optimism that Deebo will play. And I don't even think that's scientific. I think it's just the fact that it's Deebo.
He's got it in him.
He probably won't allow us to not let him play. And again, you get 2 weeks off after that. Yeah. You're not going right back after it. Sure. And he got out of that game pretty early on, right? They're taking it easy. But let's just say he doesn't play.
Yeah.
I'm still not that worried. I might be selling the Lions, or we're going to get somebody on from the Lions on before the week is over. So maybe they can scare me a bit, but I'm just not, I just can't see. I mean, there was something about all the passing yards that the Lions have given up these last couple games. I just can't see the Lions slowing down the Niners enough. Even with, and that's the thing, you got your mulligan. This is what Emil told us on Monday. You essentially got your mulligan against the Packers, right?
Yeah.
It's not supposed to rain. You got the jitters out. You got the rust off.
Yep.
I just don't.
Had a close game. They just sweat a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't see the Niners losing to the Lions, even if Deebo doesn't play.
Yeah. I mean, the defense thing is the Lions defense is definitely the thing that I think gives me the most optimism for the Niners, regardless of whether Deebo plays or not. I mean, we've seen Brandon Ayuk have monster games. We've seen George Kittle have some big plays before. And obviously Christian McCaffrey is going to be a handful for any team. It doesn't matter if you're good at the run or if you lock in on other teams' running backs in the backfield, regardless, McCaffrey is going to be a problem. So, I mean, it comes to the thing that we talked about when Deebo missed the 3 games in the middle of the season. There should be enough talent on this offense to get it done. I mean, of course, Deebo's a massive, massive cog. You can argue that everything to an extent gets set up off of Deebo touches, but you know, you got to be able to figure it out. And I even if Deebo plays, you can't feed him probably the way that you want to, unless, you know, you find yourself in a second half where, you know, it is hey, we got to go out there and win this game, whether it's tied or whether it's close. You know, you might have to adjust, but I would try and get this game done without Deebo, as close to without Deebo as we can do. I mean, I just think, to Biederman's point, like, again, you should have.
Yeah, it was Chris Biederman who said, hey, get through it. And
you'll have 3 weeks off. I mean, because that's the thing, is he missed 3 weeks with a similar injury. I think it was actually a fracture.
You can have an off season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any right answer. I think either way, you can argue you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I mean, if he plays and he furthers the injury and you don't get him in the Super Bowl, and then you have to figure out a Super Bowl game plan without Deebo, is that better than maybe figuring out how to beat frankly, an opponent you should already know how to beat. I mean, imagine, again, the Niners had Deebo in that Ravens game. Could you imagine, again, like if they have to build a game plan without Deebo in that Ravens game? I think that it's a little bit tougher. In the Lions, again, their defense is suspect to say the least. It shouldn't be a problem. You shouldn't need Deebo. I'm not saying don't feed him. I think you almost have to give him some early touches just to tell Detroit, hey, we're not just using this guy as a decoy, but I would not game plan with Deebo Samuel heavy usage in mind. Just simply because there's too many other guys who should be able to pick up the slack.
No, you can't have you can't have heavy usage. Yeah. And that's, you know what, and that's what, you know, how I get about Kyle Shanahan. Deebo will be questionable. Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah, all the way
barely able to play. And what will Kyle Shanahan do on the second drive? He'll put Deebo in the backfield.
Yep.
That's what he'll do because nobody was thinking to do it. No, Kyle, because it's not a good idea.
There's a reason why nobody would think you would do it.
Right. He's like, I got 10 yards out of it.
Might as well put him at quarterback. Right?
Maybe you're worried about Kyle Shanahan not being able to control himself as far as what's fair, how he's going to use Deebo. I mean, that's a thought too. So you're basically saying you wouldn't play him unless it was a full go. I guess we're saying two different things.
I understand playing him, but I think in a perfect world you wouldn't need him.
Or as decoy land. Just make him a decoy.
Yeah, I mean,
but do you trust Kyle to let him be a decoy?
Well, no, I mean, if he's going to be out there as a decoy, like he's still risking injury. If he's going to be out there, you might as well use him. That's my thing. If he's going to be out there, use him. But if he's not, if he's not at a usable percentage of health, then I think that there's a bigger goal in mind. And if you were only a Deebo Samuel away from a super, if missing Deebo Samuel is going to be the reason the Niners didn't make the Super Bowl, it feels like they should have been able to get there without him for one game.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of having all of these weapons, is that no one piece is supposed to be able to break the machine.
You weren't done because throughout the course, I mean, I don't know how many teams go into a Super Bowl fully healthy, right?
Nobody does.
But how many teams, even if they're not fully healthy, would get to go in with Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah.
3 all-pro guys. You might be missing one, but other teams don't really have that many.
And you can have potential to add to that list. I mean, Juwan Jennings had himself one hell of a week last week. If you can have a good, this is all maybe living in a perfect world, but if you can have a big game, let's say Deebo doesn't play, and you feed Juwan Jennings, I think he had 6 catches last week. If you can give him another 5 or 6 this week, well, now that's somebody that whoever you play in the Super Bowl might have to also account for. Is not only are they getting Deebo back, not only do they still have Ayuk and Kittle, and if they ever are going to bring Elijah Mitchell out the garage too, they also have Juwan Jennings that we now have to worry about, and he's in rhythm, he's flowed, and
30 Juwan.
It's crazy, man.
It's going to be everything in Juwan. I mean, he's just a guy that you don't really think about, and we don't know if you'll see him in a Niners jersey next season because he's going to want to elevate a role. Well, we're talking about all these showcase situations in the NBA. How about a showcase playoff run for you, Juwan? You can go somewhere, go to the promised land, get yourself some jewelry, and then say, where do I want to go? And maybe he's not a number 1 at this point, but I could be an elite number 2, right?
The Chiefs could use somebody.
I was going to say the Chiefs need a guy. The Bills rotate their number 2 receiver, so Juwan can do a lot for himself. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, I will share a back and forth that I had with one Niner fan. So we're opening up the phone lines, and we want to know, what is it that you want people to say about Brock Purdy? We want to know. Call in 916-339-1140. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Join us for Championship Sunday as the Ravens host the Chiefs at noon and the Lions battle the 49ers at 3:30. The NFC and AFC Championship heard right here on your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 58, Sactown Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. And I'm going to share a little back and forth we had because I just want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know what exactly it is that Niner fans want, right? And I know everybody wants to have an absolute stud.
I think they want a Super Bowl.
Well, I think they want both.
Yeah. Well,
I think they want a Super Bowl, but they also want people to say that Brock is elite, right? So this is the back and forth that I had. And again, we are opening up the phone lines for this conversation. August and college join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. So here is the back and forth. So this is from Quincy Avery, who I believe is one of those quarterback coaches, right? So he tweeted something yesterday. And the thing is, all of this.
Is he like an actual quarterback coach or like a Twitter quarterback?
No. He's worked with guys.
Like actually on the field work. Because I know there's no disrespect to like JT O'Sullivan, but JT O'Sullivan's more so like watching the plays and then breaking it down. And then there's guys who are, actually running camps. And
yeah. No, he is a guy who's coached. I'm trying to see here. Quincy Avery, he's an elite 11 QB coach. So that's
more than enough credential.
All that stuff. So this is what he says. Last night or yesterday, I retweeted it last night. I quote tweeted it. Why can't we just agree that Brock Purdy is really good at playing quarterback? He's not an elite talent, but he maximizes his ability, plays with anticipation, accuracy, and is the perfect QB for Shanahan. Would he be good for someone else? Who knows? But that's not the world we live in. There you go.
There you go.
So I quote tweeted and I said, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
A Niners fan responds to me and says, disagree that Quincy got it right. Brock is mentally elite and 100% a top 10 QB in parentheses, which is elite, and my number 5, his number 5 QB, he or she. I said, Quincy said he wasn't an elite talent, which he is not based on the typical combine metrics. Not that he wasn't an elite QB. And then this person says, I'm not sure that's true either. His 10-yard split is the exact same as Justin Fields, and he is very evasive in the pocket and can run. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm, so I guess you could say his arm physical talent isn't elite, but I would still say that he's elite physically in terms of mobility. I go on to say, and this is the last bit, Tom Brady was also not viewed as an elite talent, and he's the GOAT. I don't know why certain Niner fans want to die on this hill. This guy then goes into his definition of talent.
Okay.
And it's just like, I'm not the one who drafted Brock last overall.
Right. Yeah.
You're using your specific definition of talent, right, to say that, well, Brock is an elite talent because you want him to be. I thought the argument with Niner fans and Brock was, well, because he didn't get drafted high, because he doesn't look like these other guys, that's why people don't give him respect. I thought that's where we had landed.
Yeah.
But now you're making up different traits of he's mentally elite. And I'm not saying this stuff isn't true. I'm saying you're arguing something else when other people, there is disrespect going on. We have the Ryan Clark sound when he says, the hardest thing I had to do was lie about what was pretend
Brock was a serious
that can be
MVP
disrespectful.
candidate.
But you can be mad at that, but you're also mad when somebody says something that I thought we all had agreed on. Yeah. He's maximizing who he is athletically. Why does it have to be both?
I understand what you're saying there. I don't know. I mean, I think it's if I had to guess, I mean, I've been trying to wrap my head around what to your point, what exactly do they want? And I think what it is, and I'm not saying all Niner fans, but this like certain subsection of Brock Purdy has to be treated fairly, what I think is fairly, what that person thinks is fairly. I think it's just like they're continually wondering, where is the hype train? Like this should be the best. And I'm not going to disagree with it, but it should probably be one of the biggest things talked about in football. It really should be talked about every single week, how insane it is that this guy is a last pick in the draft or at the quarterback position.
Going into the divisional round, everybody else wasn't just not in the 7th round. They were all first round picks. Everybody left as a first round pick that was going into it.
Right.
So
I think they're just wondering, where's the hype machine? I think they almost want Brock to be overrated.
But we've already
They'd rather have him be
it's more fun that way.
Right.
But we've all agreed that Brock, not we all, but let's just say us all. This person is coming at me knowing that, look, I would love to go to Vegas, right? I want the Niners to win. I already told y'all, I'm going to be out here in these streets enjoying myself in Vegas. We are going to do all the networking we could possibly imagine. I need the Niners to win. But when I sit there and say, and you've seen my video that I do when I make fun of actual Brock Purdy hate, right? And it does very well. I'm going to make a part 2. Be on the lookout. But this isn't Brock Purdy hate. There's Brock Purdy hate, and then there's, no, that's just not good enough.
Right.
You need to say that he is elite. Brother, if he was elite, he wouldn't have. based on the normal metrics.
Right.
Like I said, Tom Brady went super late.
Well, and to your point too, it's like you got to pick which one you want. To me, if you're going to argue with people that, to your point, are on the complete opposite side. Don't try and argue with people who are in the middle, bringing some sort of logic and rationale and reasoning to the conversation. Be loud, be upset at the people who are still saying, there are people out there who still say Brock is trash and still say, oh my God, last week was an indication of the real Brock Purdy, not the guy that we saw for, 16, 17 weeks or anything like that. Get upset at those guys. Don't be upset at the guy who's trying to bring logic and reasoning into the conversation. Yeah, exactly. Because if your argument's going to be, it's not enough, well, then you're just going to spend time arguing with millions of people until they get to your line of what's acceptable for what you have to say about Brock.
You are right. You are not going to convince anybody. I just thought we all had, we were in agreement that Brock, based on normal metrics in the combine, was not an elite talent. Yeah. And number two, for this person to say, maybe he doesn't have the arm strength physically. He's a quarterback.
Right.
What else are they supposed to evaluate?
His mental eliteness. Come on.
They had that test.
The S2 cognition test.
Which CJ Stroud,
like you don't know.
He failed. Brock has things, the elusiveness in the pocket. He's just a gamer. Dude. So you can't measure a gamer. Dude. So stop trying to. Tom Brady, we saw him run the 40. It was terrible. It was a joke. I could beat Tom Brady in the 40 with my Achilles.
Probably.
I'm not a good quarterback. I'm not the GOAT.
Right.
So you don't have to have it all. 916-339-1140 TC. Am I taking crazy pills here? What's going on?
No, listen, to be honest with you, I'm a different Niner fan, die hard. So, but like, I'm gonna keep it simple with y'all Watkins, like I said. So a lot of the fan base, to be honest with you, like, hold on, let me back up a little bit. Give me a minute, Simone. So a lot of people at the Niners, John Lynch and Kyle knew that this guy was elite, he would have been one of Kyle's third-round specials that he keeps missing on. Like, seriously, he would have been a higher pick. He probably would have been a second-round pick other than Drake Jackson. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm talking to the fan base. Like, so, but also on the flip side, there's a lot of people that still jaded behind the Trey Lance situation. Seriously, like, Quincy Avery was Trey Lance's quarterback coach who he was working out with on the offseason. So that's who Quincy Avery is, and he probably still is working out with him. But as far as like jaded, a lot of people are jaded about that situation. That's why the Niners have to win it this year, bro. Seriously. Like this whole Brock Purdy was the guy, everybody knew it. No, did nobody know about that situation, bro? And I don't want to keep beating a dead horse and talking about Lance. He's gone, I was a Lance guy, but I don't want to get that mixed up in the midst of it. But it's a lot of people jaded about that situation on how it was handled and how they went about that situation. So that's why people be looking at Brock a certain type of way. Brock is cool. You get what I'm saying? He'll get the job done. He's a cool dude. But he has to win it, bro. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Chris and Stiles, people are really jaded, bro. A lot of this fan bases are jaded about that situation. People can go online and tell you, oh, we don't care, it's over. But a lot of people was jaded about how that was handled, bro. I'm telling you, seriously.
Yeah, no, thanks, TC, for the call, as always. So there's that group who I think that group of people or that group of fans are trying to play down or downplay what Brock is doing, right? Then there's the other side, like the guy who responded to me that is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum to where, no, they just happen to find this complete stud muffin who's undersized and has smaller hands and doesn't have great arm strength, but he's elite in these ways. And that's what I told him. I said, you cannot have elite Eli Manning, right? Was he looked at as an elite talent per se?
Dude, you can't spell elite without Eli.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true. But there are guys, you can be an elite quarterback and not have, that's why they whiff every season. That's why these guys whiff every season. Yeah. So why don't you just live in the camp Niner fan? And look, I'm not going to, I'm spending a lot on just one person's perspective, but I do feel like there are Niner fans that don't know which battle they want to fight.
Yes.
Because
we've talked about that.
Because, and this is what it is, right? Nobody wants their situation, I think we joked about dating before. Everybody wants people to say, oh, you have the hottest whatever, right? And if people don't say that, they say, hey, she might not be the hottest, but she's the smartest and she dresses well. They're going to be like, no, say she's hot. No, I don't think she is, right? So I think that's kind of part of this. You can't make people say that he's elite based on the normal metrics. That's what it is.
Dude, Brock's pretty hot. I don't know.
That's what it is. Simone, help me here. I see you laughing.
Is Brock hot?
I love that. No, that was very solid, comprehensive.
Gosh.
Talented. That's what I always say.
There you go.
You code it. You switch it up.
He's talented. I'm just saying.
I like to say that about people's significant others. Not their significant others.
That they're talented?
Like, don't give up the free game.
Yeah. From the 5-3-0, if all the teams started over with all current NFL players, where would Brock be drafted? Would a franchise pick him to, in quotes, build their franchise around? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, he'll get picked like a lot before, or he'll get picked before a lot of other quarterbacks.
He would go in the
starting.
Yes, he would go in the top 10 to 12.
He'd probably go in the teens.
Yes,
that
okay.
Would be,
I would say top 10 to 12.
I don't think so. I think there's guys with more talent.
You know what?
Let's do it.
You know what? We'll do it. We'll do it. Whether the Niners go or not. That dead week.
Yes, we'll do it. That
the
Pro Bowl week.
Simone, remind us that dead week. We are going to redraft. Here is from the 9-1-6. If Deebo plays, I hope they don't throw the short cross patterns to him like he was a tight end. That's too much punishment with his injury. Reminds me of Garoppolo. I loved a few weeks ago when they lined him up wide receiver side by side. One went deep on the right, and the other one gave Purdy two options, scored Chris the Mom.
Chris the Mom is killing it.
Yes, today for sure. And then from the 9-1-6, is that JT O'Sullivan that played QB at UC Davis?
Yes, it is.
That is correct. He's popping now.
JTO, the QB school.
Doing his QB
we'll
school.
have to get him on sometime.
And it's just, we're not, I thought we were all on the same page that Brock's measurables didn't jump off the screen.
Definitely.
Right? And that is
why.
why.
The 6'1" quarterback from a middling Big 10 school and Big 12 school.
And that is why he went and he was Mr. Relevant.
Yes.
They can be wrong. They were wrong with Tom Brady. They can be wrong. It also helps, right? If we're gonna go there, and that's what happens with Niner fans. Now you make people go there because a lot of times that first overall pick, right? Those top picks are going to a bad teams.
Yeah, look at Bryce Young.
How much better are the Panthers with Brock Purdy? I would say that they're better, but I don't know how much.
Right. No,
I don't know how much.
You can put Patrick Mahomes on the Panthers.
They're better.
They're definitely better, but like, are they a playoff team?
Maybe in the NFC South.
That's you
maybe
good argument.
Maybe
really
got to get to a break. Simone is giving us the Damian Lillard. Got to get to a break. When we get back, a fun conversation getting back to basketball. And Chris finally has a gripe, and I'm so glad it's not me. I feel like I always got the gripes. I got the yell. I got everything.
Is today Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Hey, there you go. Wet blanket time.
Wet blanket Wednesday. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Purdy. It took all 60 minutes, but the 49ers found a way to dispose of Green Bay.
1:30 and rolling to play in the game. Purdy takes it, hands off to McCaffrey off the left side, breaks a tackle, touchdown!
Next up in their quest for another Super Bowl title is a major roadblock with the Lions. San Francisco hosts Detroit, Sunday at 3:30 in the NFC title game.
You can hear all the action right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Local, live, and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From the 530 on the text line, would a position player be drafted before Brock is? We were talking about, somebody on the text line said, as we were having a Brock Purdy conversation, whether he is an elite talent or not depends on your definition of talent, to be completely honest. Guess it's not really wrong or right, but we're talking about how scouts see it, not us. We don't go to the draft. We don't draft any players besides fantasy and then lose. So
little Gus Johnson there.
It was coming out. It was trying. So would a position player be drafted before Brock?
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean
100%.
Right,
Yeah.
but that doesn't take anything away from Brock, in my opinion.
No. I mean, if anything, it says that possibly it is an indication that, you know, some of what the naysayers have said about, you know, the talent around helping Brock. I think that it's more just an indication of that you would rather say, I could either take Brock here and trust that he's going to lift guys up, or I could take a position player and maybe in this hypothetical draft situation, get Brock in the second round, because what's going to make Brock the best for my team is to get him a weapon that he can utilize. And if I just get Brock and then get a secondary, secondary playmaker, well, that might not do Brock as many services.
Right. I mean, and the Panthers, Lord help them, they don't have a first round pick, but let's say they did.
Right.
And they could move on from Bryce Young. And I know he's young, right? But moving on from Bryce Young, and for whatever reason, the Niners make Brock Purdy available, and they can either get Bryce Young or get Brock Purdy or get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right. I think they're going to take Marvin Harrison.
I believe so. And that's not a knock on Brock. It's
I don't think so either.
There's just, I'm going to give my guy that I think is a franchise guy, I need to give him weapons first.
And
right?
there's definitely, it's not just Brock does not start that list either. It's not like you get to a certain player and then Brock is up next in the quarterbacks. And then it's like, okay, maybe now, like, I don't know if I would probably consider taking a position player before Jalen Hurts
or Jared Goff. Definitely Jared Goff. And it's not a lot of, I mean, it's probably Justin Jefferson.
Right.
It's Tyreek Hill.
Yep. Is it
McCaffrey?
Really,
I don't know.
I don't know if it's,
I don't know if it's McCaffrey. All right. We have more Brock Purdy talk to get into, but Chris has a gear to grind on this Wednesday. And I never really thought about this.
I didn't either.
I am very excited for this.
Yeah. So this all came to my mind this morning when I hopped on Twitter and I saw the discourse around last night's, and the NBA is doing this Rivals Week where, the Kings are going to be playing the Warriors on Thursday. Yesterday was Clippers Lakers. You had Knicks
Rivalry
Nets.
Week, they were calling it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they changed it from Rivalry Week because that's a bit of a tongue twister in a way. Well, and also, college, and they just turned it to Rivals Week.
I see.
So this all came to my mind when I saw Simone, we have all the audio so I'll just let you guys hear it. Here is Mikal Bridges at the free throw line last night's game. This is in the fourth quarter with the score 101-100.
It is rare that you shoot free throws at home and hear that kind of reaction on a miss.
That is for sure.
Bridges shooting it at 84% on the season. This one for the tie. 101-101.
Crazy.
128.
So that makes it 101-101. Here's, I think, the very next score. Julius Randle scores on a fast break. Listen to this. This is honestly crazier. Go ahead.
Drives in, scoop, no. Tipped up in the air. Johnson's got it. It's blocked by Anunoby. And Hart saves it for Randle. Up ahead. Bounce. Back to
Now, that's great. That's a game in New York. It makes sense. The problem is that game happened in Brooklyn. Mikal Bridges taking free throws, again, to tie it up in the late fourth quarter. Julius Randle has that dunk and transition to give the Knicks the lead late fourth quarter. And that's how it sounded in the Barclays Center. And, Mikal has some audio. I don't think we need to play it right now, but they ask him, how does it make you feel? And he's essentially like, I mean, it's not great. Nobody loves to be booed in their home arena. I understand the situation.
And that's a different type of boo. That's not a boo because you didn't show up. That's a boo because we don't even like your team.
Yeah, we don't want you to win this game in your home arena. And so it just made me think, why do leagues, no one has ever given me a good explanation for why leagues have two teams in the same market. And it's not just basketball. Of course, you have Lakers, Clippers. You got Knicks. I mean, even that's not even they're playing in the same building.
Right.
Knicks, Nets. Where else? There. I mean, tons of places. You got
Mets,
the Yankees. Mets,
Yankees.
absolutely. You got Dodgers, Angels.
Right.
And in all of those situations, there's one team that owns the city, and the other team is the
Giants.
Jets, Giants, and that's probably the most even split that I can think of. But why, like, if it doesn't end up working out for one of the teams in the situation, why do we have it when there's teams, there's cities like Nashville that doesn't have a baseball team. You got Seattle doesn't have a basketball team. There's so many cities that are deprived of major league sports. Why is there two franchises in all of these major cities besides the fact that there's major cities? I guess the thought is the pool is so much bigger that it can afford to have it, but you're also losing out on what makes especially like college sports so special. And I mean, Sacramento, it's arguably what makes Sacramento so special. When you put them in those smaller markets, they care so much more than, there's a reason why people say Laker fans are fake. And, there are no Clipper fans and things like why are we, instead of just embracing the fact that we all know everybody in LA for the most part cares about the Lakers, and Steve Ballmer spending all of this money creating a wall to try, just to attempt. But here's a shining example of the Nets tried to do the same thing, and you could argue you can't do it better than how the Nets tried to do it. They built Barclays, which everyone says is state of the art. I mean, the Garden has a lot of updates that it needs. The Barclays is this brand new arena. They had KD, Kyrie, and James Harden on the squad, and even then people didn't care about the team. So I don't know what else a second team in the market is supposed to do to even just try and scratch the surface of making it make sense. Somebody try and help me make sense of it, because I just, it makes no sense to me.
Gas trap.
Right. There you go. Thank you, Simone. Segment over.
I don't really have much. I mean, it doesn't make very much sense to me. And it also not only affects, you're Yankees or Mets. It also affects when other teams come to town. The Brooklyn Nets, that issue, that's not just with, and we forgot to say the newest one with the Rams and the Chargers. The Chargers can't buy any fans.
I don't think LA wanted either of those teams.
I've never met a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never, Kyle left to go to the AFC West and the Chiefs. And it doesn't just affect when it's Knicks Nets. It also affects the fact that because you are the smaller fan base, other fan bases then infiltrate you because you're not getting the support from the rest of your city.
Right.
So Brooklyn has these issues when other teams come to town.
Yeah.
That's
like
why
the Warriors.
They were chanting MVP when they finally played each other in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
When KD was playing. It was insanity. So it affects everything. I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the big cities. That's why they do it. But there's always going to be a little brother.
Yeah.
And the Clippers, they could win. We already know. And who knows with these Laker fans, but the Clippers could win the next 2 to 3 championships, and maybe it would get a little bit more even. Maybe.
Possibly. And then what happens 15 years from now when Kawhi's gone, Paul George is gone, and
it's done.
James Harden's gone? You think that there's
done.
any legacy Clipper fans that you're building right now?
Maybe. It's possible.
I just don't think, I don't know. I feel like it's ingratiated into people at this point. Kids come up and Frankie was explaining to us the other day why he's a Ranger fan. I guess there's if you're a Yankee fan, you're a Ranger fan instead of a Devils fan, right? Or
there's
the
Islanders, right? And the Islanders kind of got the same color as the Mets, so you got to wear the same thing. So you only got to buy the same amount of swag, so you don't have bunch of different colors because the stuff ain't cheap. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Somebody from
the White
Steven
Sox, right?
The White Sox and the Cubs.
Nobody talks
I don't want to go to the South Side. I'm a Cubs fan.
Right.
Fly the W. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, getting back into some of the Niners talk, at 1:15, we will talk about Major League Baseball announcing their Hall of Fame class. And at 1:30, we will discuss your thoughts on NFL kickers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
That was another way. I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about, and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sports.
Chris Watkins asking the tough questions.
The super tough ones.
Why? Why? Oh, whose idea was it? You know what?
This,
well, also me and Chris, he opened up to me and gave me his connect for his barber.
Yeah.
So now we kind of have a barber battle.
Yeah.
Because this guy is hot in the streets. So I don't really tell Chris when I'm going to get my hair cut because I don't want him to lock up my spot. You know what I mean? So we're trying to get ready for who's going to get the next cut. And Chris is, undermining me as I'm coming back here, locking up a prime day that he knows that I want. But all is fair in love and shows and haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
As he's asking the tough questions. Why two teams? Who was the first person to think, you know what, this city is so dope. We need two teams.
Two of them things.
Just to split the fan. Yeah, just to split the fan base. You know what? Do it again.
Yeah.
We want the deluxe package.
Exactly.
Of teams.
We want sports deluxe.
In the city.
I bet Whitey would know.
Whitey probably would know who was the first person.
Or at least have an explanation.
Exactly. At 1:15, we have some sad yet funny sound from a situation with John Fisher in Vegas with the A's. We will get to that at 1:15. Want to hear this? We alluded to when we were having the Brock Purdy conversation, the sound from Ryan Clark I think it was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ryan Clark, he's another guy, about 5 different shows. I can't keep up.
I thought you were going to say 5'10".
Okay.
About 5'10".
Well, what are we doing
5'11".
here? What is a friendly fire?
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Why would I say that?
That was like a Pat McAfee moment. I was like, I thought you were going to say something else there.
We have never been more connected than like, we have just never been more connected.
I think that's the closest we've gotten to being fully together.
Let a naysayer know.
Jeez.
As we have the sound right here from Ryan Clark. And this was a couple days ago, I believe, on First Take. And really, there's a lot of ways to break this thing down, what he said. And this is Ryan Clark on Brock Purdy.
I'm about to make a confession. The single hardest thing I had to do this year was act like Brock Purdy deserved to be in the conversations with the other people we're mentioning in that tweet. Because he was playing extremely well and operating in that offense and distributing the ball to Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Brenden Ayuk, we had to continue to include him in conversations with the Lamar Jacksons. We had to continue to include him in conversations with the Josh Allen. Those things are not alike. Brock Purdy is a fine player. Brock Purdy can operate in Kyle Shanahan's offense at an extremely efficient level. Brock Purdy doesn't raise the level of play of anyone around him. And so when you talk about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the people around them benefit from having those sorts of players at the quarterback position. Brock Purdy benefits from having the sort of players he has at the skill positions around him. And so when we look at that game against the Green Bay Packers, even with Jordan Love throwing an inopportune, inexplicable interception to end the game, I was sitting there watching them going, man, the NFL world should be excited that Jordan Love doesn't play for the San Francisco 49ers.
So my thing is, he said a lot there because some of it I agree with, right? Some of it I don't.
Sure.
I don't agree with him saying he doesn't elevate the players because you haven't had, right, the over 1,000 yards for all these different skill position players, George Kittle, Brenden Ayuk, right? And the collection of that, they didn't have these numbers with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
Okay. So that is why I think he almost said it wrong. Okay. Because he tried to say so much. So that is why I disagree with Ryan Clark. Do I think Brock is in the same conversations with Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and I don't even know if Josh Allen is there. It depends on which Josh Allen.
Sure.
Good Josh Allen will say, then I would say no. But I don't think Dak Prescott was there too. Brock was in the MVP conversation. There are almost 2 conversations going on.
Yeah.
There was the MVP conversation and there was the are you an elite QB conversation.
Yeah.
Those are not the same conversation. But even with that, I think where Ryan Clark went off the deep end for me was that he doesn't elevate his guys and these other guys do. That's not to say these other guys do, right? Or that they don't. I think they do. But I just think that what he maybe meant to say is that Brock Purdy couldn't do what they're doing on their rosters, maybe that's what he meant to say. But the idea that Brock didn't elevate this team, that's just incorrect.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I also kind of from the start of the clip there, I feel like he lost, I don't want to say all credibility, but I
kind of
like him saying the toughest thing I had to do this year was
and the
like
video
Brock
is
Purdy.
so crazy. It almost got dim in the studio. The toughest thing.
I'm about to. He started with the I'm about to.
Well, it was almost like
I'm about to.
Who made you do this? Who made you say it? I mean, Nick Wright's been standing on
it's just disingenuous.
Whatever word that is the whole season.
I mean, and it definitely proves something that I thought all year long, that Brock Purdy is only in this quarterback conversation by default, or in this MVP conversation by default. It felt like everybody was just, okay, we can't put Josh Allen. Well, Mahomes isn't playing well.
Like, get Tua in there.
Well, like, I don't really like Tua. And it's like, mean, I guess we'll give it to Brock, but even that, like Christian McCaffrey, like what about they tried at every turn to not give Brock the credit. And I think it's just disingenuous to not act like at the very least for a couple weeks there. And we talked about it as it was happening. That man was the favorite to win MVP for a reason. There was no one else that was really deserving. And until that Ravens game, it was pretty much Brock Purdy's MVP to lose. And he frankly lost it in that game. And so I don't know. I feel like Ryan Clark was just started off on the wrong foot by acting like Brock didn't deserve to be in that conversation in general. You could say maybe as the talent he is, a talent or a player that you feel like the tier that Brock Purdy is typically doesn't deserve to be in the MVP conversation, but the facts are the facts. He was in the MVP conversation, and he deserved to be in the MVP conversation. Why not hold that same energy for Dak? I mean, people say Dak is in that same tier, and he was in the MVP conversation.
But that's why I think he just messed up what he was trying to say. I think there was a lack of nuance of what he was saying because he probably did it. You had to put Brock in the MVP conversation this season. You didn't have to have – to your point, nobody compares Dak to Mahomes in that group, right? So it's not disingenuous. Where he messed up is he wasn't able to separate the MVP conversation from the elite quarterback conversation.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's got to get the mood right and darken the studio.
I'm about
to make Drake in that song with J. Cole.
916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to our guy Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. Steven, we saw you on the text line. We know you want to talk about Purdy. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so with Ryan Clark, I feel like he's a little out of pocket, and I really feel like you guys should pull up that Pat McAfee clip of him just saying, look, I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander. And then he just dropped a bunch of stats and a bunch of numbers, and it was absolutely beautiful. My question is, the only person that I ever hear Lamar Jackson propping up is Mark Andrews. Who the hell else is he propping up on that team? I don't see or hear any other name that Lamar Jackson propped up besides himself. That's it, dude. Am I a blind fan? Do I not watch enough like Baltimore Ravens because they're on the East Coast and they're like 3 hours ahead. So I'm not trying to wake up 3 hours earlier, folks, to watch this. You know what I'm saying? Just to be kind of like a little smart aleck, But like, who is he propping up? That's the one thing. That's the one question I have for you boys. Thank you for letting me have the floor. Thank you.
I don't know about that one, Steven. I mean, you could say he's propping up the whole team, right? And prior to this season, Lamar had no type of weapons like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear what Steven's saying in the sense of like, he's not necessarily elevating his receivers like how we see CJ Stroud is making Tank Dell and Nico Collins into all-pro guys. But your point is definitely correct. That I mean, it's also because the offense is structured around Lamar. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't say that this offense is specifically structured around, hey, how do we accentuate all the good things Brock does? It's more just, hey, let's accentuate the things other guys do and Brock give it to those guys. So I would say the difference
completely different offense too.
Yeah, like everything is ran so Lamar can uplift that entire team, to your point, as much as possible.
Right, but that's exactly. That's where I think it gets a little bit nitpicky when we're just breaking down what Ryan Clark said, because I think it's just elevating the team,
and I think
versus specific dudes, right?
Like,
I mean,
what is elevating? Like, I feel like this guy should have these stats, but since he was his quarterback, he exceeded those expectations. Like, is that what you would say?
But that's why
lifting up the offense. Because I would say Brandon Ayuk. Like, Brandon Ayuk hasn't had this kind of season before this year.
But that's how Ryan Clark didn't make it clear what he was trying to say, because you can't elevate guys that are already dope, right? Deebo is dope. Okay, Kittle, we know, is like, a G.
Would we say we've seen now for 2 years what Tyreek Hill has done?
He's not in a position to do so, right?
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think anyone's saying Patrick Mahomes isn't elevating people, but like,
because there's Rashee Rice and it's Kadarius Toney who eats a butter of popcorn before every game from the 916. Here's my bottom line on Purdy. If you redrafted the 2022 draft, he is a top 5 pick. maybe top 3, and that alone is amazing. We'd have to relook. Is he? Because again, if we do that, what team is he going to?
Because we don't live in the Brock Purdy is great without situation being a factor. Like, we are of the minds that, Brock Purdy is elevated by his situation. And so you can't just
both.
say
They're helping each other.
Absolutely. They're helping each other is the right way to put it. And so you can't just say, put him on any team. Like, that's not,
it was a pretty bad
and that's
draft.
why we don't
I know
have
we're way
Brock
over.
Purdy
I know we're way over, but Trayvon Walker went number 1.
That's not happening again.
Aiden Hutchinson went number 2. Derek Stingley went number 3. Sauce Gardner went number 4. Kayvon Thibodeau went number 5. Ikem Ekwonu went number 6. Evan Neal went 7. Drake London went 8. Charles Cross went 9. Garrett Wilson went 10. Chris Olave went 11. Jamison Williams went 12. You might be onto something, 916.
I don't know.
You don't think so? All right, we got to get to a break. When we get back, we make fun of John Fisher. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. Why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Simone, how could you come in with Detroit? How could you do that? How could you do that? Everybody
Excuse
from
me,
the
this is Mob.
313.
No, but this is Mob Deep, who's from New York.
Yeah, I know, but it's 8 Mile.
Okay, we're also talking about shook ones. We're about to talk about Fisher.
No.
I was about to
like it.
play Return of the Mac, and I was like, he doesn't get that justice, so I had to change it really quick.
Chris, here you go, because you guys were getting on me for the jingles.
What's happening?
Keep it going, Simone.
Oh, my gosh.
Keep it going, Simone. Keep it going.
I'll turn my mic
now,
off.
everybody from the 313, you should be real afraid of Brock Purdy. Yay!
Oh,
hey, Chris, you like that?
I'm not participating in this as a 49ers fan.
Okay. Come on, that was Fuego.
Wasn't bad.
Thank you.
Wasn't
That's
terrible.
off the top.
It definitely wasn't terrible.
That's off the top. All right. Let's go to Jimmy here before we tie a bow on Brock Purdy for today. Don't worry, we're not done. We got plenty of time. It's only Wednesday. 916-339-1140. Let's go to Jimmy, who wants to be a part of the conversation. It's not Jimmy G, is it? What's up, Jimmy? What you got for us? Stiles and Watkins.
No. Yeah. How you guys doing? I've been calling in numerous stations just talking about Purdy, and look, he's different, right? Every single one of these quarterbacks that are left inside the playoffs, 2 of them are kind of similar, and the other 2 are similar as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamar, he's a running quarterback. He got beat up every year for being a running quarterback until he got a couple of weapons. He got Flowers. He got a good running game. They finally got him some offensive line, right? So now he can do his job. They got him pieces so that he could be successful. Mahomes, extending the plays, right? So every single one of these quarterbacks, Goff, you give him enough time, he can make a throw. Purdy, again, you give this guy enough time, and he's going to make the throws. Yes, he's an undersized quarterback. He's got a little bit smaller of a hand, so the weather does bother him. But you guys have been talking about these points. Every single one of the receivers has 1,000 yards. Running back has over almost 2,000 scrimmage yards. So what this kid has done coming into the league on his second year, nobody is giving him the credit that is due. You guys said it. He was in the MVP race up until losing it to Lamar. So every single one of these guys has something to bring to the table, and I just was disappointed in the lack of respect that everybody has been giving this kid. And I praise McAfee for finally stepping up and saying everything that needed to be said so that the people could understand what we're all looking at as San Francisco fans. So I appreciate you guys.
No, thanks for the call, Jimmy. Yeah, and the thing about it is, look, obviously Pat McAfee has one of the biggest platforms right now in sports media. Honestly, what's funny is I just don't know how much that matters. I don't know when people have an idea about you. I just don't know how willing they are to change it. Yeah, it's not going to change. Maybe he did. Maybe McAfee has a lot of pull these days, so maybe he will change some people's minds. But ultimately, Brock Purdy going out there, showing up and showing out. Yeah, and it's the same. I know the line is different because he was Mr. Irrelevant, but if he goes out there, he beats the brakes off the Lions or just wins the game, looks like the Brock that we all know and love, and does the same thing in the Super Bowl and beats a Lamar Jackson and or Patrick Mahomes, then
he's got to make it hard for people.
It's gonna be really hard to hate on him. But I don't really know if you are a hater. I guess my struggle is if you are a hater, is it undeniable what Brock has done yet from a non-Niner fan perspective? I don't think it's undeniable. Once you win a Super Bowl and you beat a hot Lions team and you beat either the MVP that you lost the MVP to in Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, then it's and the operative word here is undeniable.
Sure.
And when you are the last pick in the draft, people want to deny you. That's what it comes down to.
It's just I feel like the goalpost. I mean, and it's nothing new I'm saying here, but it just feels like the goalpost has been moved so drastically, so dramatically in like the last year. I mean, again, when we're talking about Mr. Irrelevant and him playing football games, it's okay. Is what we're seeing legit in the sense of, is this guy actually a starting quarterback? And now we're having conversations of, is this guy the MVP, a legit MVP candidate? So I feel like, again, the haters are always until it's undeniable that I guess he's in the MVP conversation and it's not crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't know when it's going to stop because, yeah, I mean, at first it was this guy's not even an NFL quarterback. He's Mr. Irrelevant. There's no way you can believe this. Just this is Jeremy Lin. He's having a good stint and then it's going to be right back to being garbage. Well, I think in terms of undeniable, we can say Brock Purdy's undeniably a top. You said you take him top 10. I'll say top 15. He's undeniably that.
No, agreed. And if you have somebody that can get you you drafted somebody in the 7th round that could put you in the mix for a Super Bowl, that is incredible.
That's a win.
That is incredible. That's a win
itself.
Where things get more.
It shouldn't be more. I mean, more is for later in his career. This dude's in year 2.
No, I know.
He didn't even have a full offseason to actually work.
But that's what happens with Niner fans and I don't know how big the minority or majority is that on top of that, it's not good enough to say the Niners drafted a guy. It's got to be they drafted an elite dude, and that's where people say, okay, can we pump the brakes here? And you don't have to, but that's why this, like I said, this is great for program directors across the country. This is great for producers across the country.
We can eat off this.
This is great for hosts across the country. And I saw it in the Sack chat earlier. Oh, once he went to Super Bowl, that it'll go away. No.
Ask Joe Flacco about that.
No, that will not go away.
Eli Manning about that.
It's just going to change. It's just going to shift in a different way. Okay, it's time to make fun of John Fisher.
Please, real quick.
And Chris and Simone
found it.
You found this. So John Fisher was at some type of event in Vegas.
Yeah, it was the Las Vegas Journal Review.
Okay, and they have him here to do his thing, and this is how it sounded.
Let's give it up one more time for Mary Beth and John Fisher, please. The Las Vegas A's.
Woo! Anybody?
You like the sound of that, right, Vegas? Yeah? Yes? Are we alive back there, Las Vegas? How we feeling? Okay.
Why would she say? You gotta just eat it.
Yeah, you gotta eat it.
unless she's a double agent. Because that's not a good look.
Yeah. She hits that Hulk Hogan like, I can't.
Yeah. Are we alive back there? Dang, what y'all doing?
It's so quiet in here.
Yeah. You can't. Wow.
Brother. I mean, there you go. We already knew it, but like, there's no. Why is this happening? Like, why are y'all trying to make fetch happen?
Yeah, you can't go. Are you alive?
That's crazy.
Are you alive is just outstanding. Unless you're a double agent, because why would you say that?
That's insane.
Let's hear it one more time.
Yeah,
It's so
please.
good.
Let's give it up one more time for Mary Beth and John Fisher, please. The Las Vegas A's. We like the sound of that, right, Vegas? Yeah? Yes? Are we alive back there, Las Vegas? How we feeling?
It reminds me of like your teacher, like when you can't get the classroom's attention. It's like, are we alive?
Yeah.
Are we here?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
on.
when we have to do stuff for the company, and they're like, okay, does anybody wanna go first?
Come on.
How you guys feel? The first icebreaker at a company event.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like. You guys excited to be here?
Gave me a lot of the. You remember Ja Rule doing the halftime show?
Oh, yeah.
What up, y'all?
Guess not.
I guess not.
No, honestly, that's how you guys treated me after my freestyle that I will be clipping and putting on social media, by the way, because it was fire. I don't care what anybody says. Even in the Sac chat, I see you just hating on me as well. Those were bars, all right? But yeah, John Fisher, there you go. John Fisher, just not a great situation at all in general. So who knows what will happen, but he's getting roasted today, as you are probably aware. All right, get into a break. When we get back, we discuss kickers and whether they should move on or we should move on at some point in years past. We'll be long gone. And also following up on earlier in the show, De'Aaron Fox speaks with media. Okay, with practice. Is it over? Can we put it to bed? De'Aaron Fox, after practice, speaks with media. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Stop by any participating Save Mart location for a 20% off ticket discount code when you buy Monster Energy.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury, for almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Are we ready?
I guess not.
That was a long pause.
That was a really long pause.
Wow, that is Ja Rule,
That's
aka
so
John
awkward.
Fisher. Ja Rule trying to get the crowd hyped.
Ja on Fisher.
We need to find out who was the moderator there. Oh, I see. What
That
you
did not
there.
work.
No, it was a great attempt. We need to find out who that moderator was for the John Fisher situation and find out if she's a double agent. Michael Baldacci on the side chat is saying definitely a double agent because she kind of set him up. Are y'all alive back there?
Hello.
Big substitute teacher vibes going on. See, this is what's happening. So this is from the 916, and they say Ryan Clark is so bad. So he's saying Brock Purdy hasn't lifted anyone's game. Okay, me and Chris, we're with you. We're with you.
Yep.
Ayuk was an All-Pro this year. Okay,
yeah,
we're with you. Yeah, we're on
facts. Yeah, Brock did elevate.
And what the blank has Mahomes done this season? No. This man's, had to lift anyone up. Kelsey had his worst season.
He did.
Okay. Then you lost us now. You were doing so well.
Doing so well.
You were doing
You had us in the first half.
Yeah, they had us in the first half.
Second half.
You were doing so well.
Not great.
And then it just...
Yeah, exactly. Honestly.
I don't know. I mean, he's only in
literally stop. Please stop.
No, you're good there.
You had it.
He's just in his 6th straight AFC championship.
Yeah.
With with a bunch of wide receiver 1, 2s, 3s.
I think 2 is
and I think a lot of people Kelsey has had some drops, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
don't know if it's T-Swizzle. I don't know. I don't want the Swifties on me. I had E40 fans on me yesterday. I got the Swifties on me today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tell
Simone
me when to know. Yeah, Simone. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. But
You
yeah.
good with Unk again or no?
Oh, we're solid.
Yeah, okay.
We're way too solid. So yeah, we got some of the sound from De'Aaron Fox at the after practice, right? And we have that ready to go. So let's hear from him. It's nothing I don't believe to write home about, but maybe we can get off this drama train. This is not House of whatever show Simone watches, the Housewives of Sacramento, and we can just talk basketball. Here's De'Aaron Fox.
Darren, you've always been really good with us in the media. Was your recent media silence frustration with the media directly? No. Was it? And if you don't mind me trying to pinpoint it, was it was there miscommunication? No, you just don't want to comment at all. Okay.
And then he goes on, and it's that was at the beginning.
No, that's quite literally the last question.
Okay, that's the last question. So he tried to sneak it in. Yeah, Jason. That was Jason.
I mean, he had to get it. I mean, it's the biggest story surrounding the team right now. So
now it's over. Is it over?
Doesn't sound like it. No, I mean, I don't think so.
It's over. It's over.
I mean, De'Aaron with smiles. It was a lot better than his pregame
fresh haircut. Maybe
fresh cut.
Maybe we have the same barber, all three of us.
Definitely might. We definitely might. I think in terms of being asked the question, it's probably over. If I had to guess, with De'Aaron coming out today at practice after doing that pregame, I would also assume that they probably don't want this attention to happen again. And so I would assume that we'll probably be seeing more of De'Aaron Fox.
Do you think, that's what I was going to say. Does he talk? Yeah. Is he the post-game presser next game and just dead it?
Yeah, probably.
Win or lose, just get him out there and just dead it.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Win or lose, you get him out there, you dead it. If you get smacked, you definitely have to send him out.
Definitely have to send him out.
If you the next time you dead it for now, the next time they get smacked, you probably have to bring him out there, and then you're good for the season.
Yeah.
Then we don't talk about this.
No, exactly.
But I think those are the boxes they have to check off. He's got to come out. And this is not us caring. This is just us. This is us just thinking that this is the way you get it to go away.
Yes, exactly.
And it really helps that it's a 7-game road trip.
It definitely does, because that, I mean, frankly, was a big part of all of this as well. The reason why a lot of you heard when we played the Sam Amick sound, David Aldridge was shocked. He was, and when Sam Amick said it's been 16 days, David Aldridge said, "What?" And a big reason why it got to be 16 days was because they were on the road. And so we just weren't aware that, I mean, we assumed in a pregame or in some post game that maybe we didn't see because, their local media posted it, not Kings local media, obviously. Maybe De'Aaron spoke, but we just didn't know that he didn't speak on the road either. So there's potential. I mean, I'm going to be out there tomorrow. Brenden and Frankie will be out there tomorrow in Golden State. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes in the rest of the road trip. You're going to be out there. We'll be out there. Yeah.
Big flex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Alan's keeping it coy right now.
What do you mean?
You gonna be out there, not out there, but you're gonna be playing.
It is official.
Come on.
It is official. Look, there's been so much conversation about Brock Purdy. I decided, you know what?
Yeah.
I gotta put my feet on the ground out there,
right.
And I gotta go
that's what you'll be doing.
To the place, the place that Brock Purdy built, and I will be in Santa Clara this weekend. I just got the confirmation. I will be in Santa Clara. Come holler at your boy, and let's celebrate a Niners W.
You should say the place that Brock Purdy built.
That's right. Well, Montana didn't play there.
Oh, he didn't. No, that is
the place that Jimmy G built.
Jeff Garcia built that place.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Hey.
CJ Beathard.
No,
I guess he was probably
Yeah.
already. I think he was there after as well.
The place that Sam Darnold could build.
There you
if
go.
They would let him throw the
There
football.
you go.
According to Dan Orlovsky.
or according to Kyle.
According to Kyle.
Shanahan on the right day, he'll let you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We also have this sound. This is just some funny sound. We were earlier on in the week, we were complaining a bit about the kicker situation because it is random and it's called football, but you don't really only one person touches the ball with your foot. Now I sound like my mom coming from Panama. I don't understand. Why is it called football? They don't kick the ball. One person kicks the ball. This is Larry David a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago.
On why kickers are dumb.
Number one, I'm losing the goalpost.
Wait, what?
Why are there goalposts?
Okay.
Why are kickers, okay, they don't have football skills. They're not football players. I'm sure they're wonderful people. Why are they kicking a ball through goalposts to decide games? It doesn't make any sense at all. There's no need for goalposts. Why not just have leaping frogs to decide games? See if a frog can leap through a little goalpost that you set up, okay, on the floor. And if the frog can leap through the goalpost, feet are deciding games, and they shouldn't. Why should one player with this skill, like the guy on the Ravens, why should this one player who does nothing but kick a ball be deciding games when you have 52 other players who are actually playing? Maybe.
Yes.
After I got rid of the goalpost, nobody can make an argument for field goals and even extra points. There's no argument for it.
So you're going for it on 4th down every time. That's what it goes every time.
Every time.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're on the other team's 30-yard line,
yes,
you've got 4 downs to get a first down. You're not playing for a field goal. You're playing to score a touchdown. This field goal kicking, I can't stand it.
The ultimate team sport that is known. That is what football is known as, the ultimate team sport. Would we ever live in a world? I mean, it is kind of crazy. You do all this work, and some dude that I've never. What are your relationships with these kickers? I know everybody's on the team, but some dude
they're off to the side kicking during practice.
Did they even lift with them?
Probably, I would imagine so. Maybe. I guess I really don't know. I would just guess so because
but they live together with the punters and
oh yeah, definitely.
And those dudes.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when you think about it too, there's not really any other sport that does any, like, I guess the closest you could maybe consider is like a closer, but at least he's still doing something that he is a person is specifically coming in to do something that it's not asked of anybody else. Yeah, it's not even close to the
specialized role. Sure.
Yeah,
it's just so weird.
It is really weird, and
I could see a world where maybe they do, like, maybe in 50 years or something. I mean, the kickoff is all but eliminated pretty much. I mean, they are enforcing or pushing towards everybody having touchbacks every time anyway. So that's already one step of the kicking game that you're taking out. It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. It would be a massive shift, obviously, in just how
we
the
might
game
be
is
long
played,
gone. And I don't know, is football even going to be around when we're long gone? Who knows? Who knows?
It's going to be like, which one goes first, the penny or the kickers? You guys are really thinking about it.
I mean,
it's probably the kickers, I think. I don't know.
I mean, wasn't Frankie the one who said who carries coins around? Frankie kind of got killed for that by saying that nobody carries around coins anymore.
Time,
like,
Frank.
What do I need? I think he even said just cash in general.
That's crazy because Frank to me seems like the guy that would give you the difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's 44, 27. Hold on, let me count these coins. I got 73 pennies in here. All right. Real quick before we get to a break into the crossover.
Yeah, what up?
This is from the 209. Just want to be clear. This is from the 209. Please let us know. I didn't know this was a thing. Is he, talking about De'Aaron Fox, mad at being in Sacramento or just mad at media? Well, technically it's neither. Okay. It's the inner workings, and go check out our 10:30 to 11:30 hour. I believe our guy Joe came in, our social media extraordinaire came in and said that's been clipped. You can check it out, SactownSports.com, or check it out on YouTube. We have a whole hour where we break that down. But long story short, he is not mad at being in Sacramento, and he is not mad at media. He is mad at
the process
and things that he didn't know were going on, and things were being said about him in terms of when the Kings lost big games and how it came off as a lack of accountability when he didn't speak to the media. So go check that out for anybody who has not been rocking with us all show. If you have been rocking with us all show, thank you very much. So go check that out. It's on YouTube. It's up. It should be up right now or very soon. Got to get to a break. When we get back, crossover with the Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. Start your year off right with a great lease deal on a new Toyota. Shop a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs from the most reliable brand on the road. Right now, get $1,000 bonus cash when you lease a 2024 Camry. Or when you finance with Toyota, get $1,000 bonus cash on the all-new Grand Highlander gas models. Or $1,500 bonus cash on select 4Runners. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium-rated credit. Excludes hybrids and S13124.
Yeah, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia, right here in Sacramento for over 25 years. Or FolsomLakeKia.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We are back. Couple more minutes with you. Crossover, crosstalk with the drive, guys.
I'm here. Hey, the champ is here.
The champ is here. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, joining us, guys. This is the first time we've done a fully loaded crosstalk in a while.
I missed it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what's on your mind? Let's just get right to it.
Just in general.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's on my mind. I heard you guys mention my name today, and I don't know what it was.
I
was driving in there. Why do you know? And I didn't hear.
So we did a segment. I don't know if you saw the Nets-Knicks game yesterday.
Yeah.
There was the situation where McHale's at the free throw line, and the Barclays Center crowd is booing him, and the next play is like a transition dunk by Julius Randle, and the place erupts. It sounds like the Kevin Huerter three of last year.
Right.
Like it breaks the sound. And I just wondered, and I figured you would have some sort of answer to. No one's given me a good explanation as why, besides it's a big market, what's the necessity of having two teams in these big major markets? Because it always feels like there's in every situation one team that dominates it, whether it's the Lakers, the Yankees, Cubs. The Knicks, the Cubs. It's always one team that ends up having a majority of the stake anyway. Is it simply just a cash grab, and they feel like if we have two teams in LA will work? It doesn't matter if the Clippers have a massive fan base or not. It's going to be a functional NBA franchise. Just what is the logic, the reasoning? Do you know the first time it happened? Like, why are there two teams in a market when you have Nashville, Seattle, markets that are big enough to sustain major league franchises but don't have any?
I think it started when baseball in the early parts of the 1900s, when there weren't that many cities that could support a team. So like you had the National League, then the American League comes along. We're going to have teams too, but they had to put them in the same cities. Like Philadelphia used to have two teams. St. Louis used to have two.
Right.
Then you have there's more and more cities, and the population grows and grows, and they spread out. But I think the answer is, let's say the NFL came to you, as they may, and said, Chris, we love you. We need you as an owner. All we ask is that we have these two franchises. We want you to take one. You can take Portland or a new Chicago team.
Mm-hmm.
Portland's like, there's no competition. But Chicago, your franchise value being in Chicago, even if the Bears dominate you forever, it's like you still own a team in freaking Chicago.
Yeah.
Right. So it's value of the franchise.
No, totally. I mean, it just,
I think
from a league perspective, it just feels like, I mean, I don't know how good of a look it is to have a situation like you just had in the Barclays where Sacramento gets tons of praise, rightfully so, for being an incredibly passionate fan base, win or loss. Well, wouldn't you want to have as many of those franchises? I mean, of course you need big markets,
but here's the thing too with that, Chris, when you look at the NBA, would you rather have a second Los Angeles team or a Pelicans franchise, New Orleans?
Sure.
That second Los Angeles team still draws better than a Milwaukee,
or even San Diego,
or somebody, or San Diego.
They moved to Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah.
They still draw financially. It's still better for the league to be in those major cities. Yeah.
I'm
checking. I know.
It's
You're
just
sticking up for the little guy.
It's the right answer.
It.
It's just it's not. It's
right.
Not for the love of the game. That's what I want it to be.
I even thought I heard a little of that last night watching the Clippers and the Lakers. Not to that extent that you guys play.
But I mean, look at the lengths that Steve Ballmer's going to try and carve his own like section of LA fans. He's building this state-of-the-art arena. He's building this wall. He's got all these stars. And even then, it's like, I mean, it's a 500 Lakers team is still probably the talk of the town. If you turn on LA radio, I don't think many people are talking about the Clippers. I'm sure they're talking about who the Lakers should go and get in the market. So I just, it's the, yes, I understand the financial element of it, but it feels like from the just pure sporting element of it, it just doesn't seem to make sense in any of the situations.
You're taking the Portland NFL franchise. You don't want the Chicago team?
I mean, if I could guarantee some sort of financial gain in Portland, then I'll take the Portland, because again, I just think that
I gotcha.
I would rather have a fan base that at least cares than constantly trying to fight being the second fiddle in the market.
Does Allen have a job when you own the team? Is Allen getting a job?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. So he's getting an advisor role of some sort.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm pulling
the Doc Rivers role.
I'm pulling some numbers here, and this is between NFL and NBA, and just there's the little brother thing, and then there's obviously the money, right? So this is as of August 2023, just the franchise evaluations for the NFL. You have the New York Giants at 4, right? But then you have the New York Jets at 7. That's still both in the top 10. You know what I mean? So there you go. And then you also have, now where it gets interesting to me is that the Chargers are at 25. That's pretty bad. Right. They're just hoping that at some point it grows. You got your quarterback, you get Harbaugh, and eventually it grows. But that is the outlier to where they're assuming, they just think that these are all sleeping giants that eventually you can figure out. But the Chargers, they're 25. So that just the smaller markets, right? Tennessee Titans are ahead of them. The Colts are ahead of them. And I think it's different for football a little bit. But yeah, it might not, it doesn't look great for some of these situations. Chargers are really the only one that I'm seeing where it's actually bad.
Well, how about like the White Sox?
So I just did NFL and NBA. I'm looking here for NBA. Knicks you have Golden State Warriors, National Basketball Association franchise value by team in 2023. Golden State Warriors 1, New York Knicks 2, Brooklyn Nets 13. And it sounds like it, but top 15, top half, I don't know.
I guess. I don't love any of these answers. I'd much rather just have it. I just need passionate fan bases.
Would you want a franchise in St. Louis? Louisville?
Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets.
I understand there's a line for sure.
2023, and you could argue, and based on what time this was done, the Brooklyn Nets are 13, 14, 15, 16. Sacramento Kings, just like their defensive rating, 17.
Are they up to 17 now?
Well, they were. I don't know if they still are. So there you go. I hear you, Chris. I hear you, but
I mean, I understand it's a business, and it definitely makes a lot of sense financially. But it's just, I don't know.
It was a bad look.
It just doesn't seem like. I just don't know if it's a good look to have your franchise, because it's going to devalue the franchise to have them be viewed as the lower as the step.
But I don't think it is
the guy that owned the net, Prokhorov, right?
Yes,
he built the arena and everything, and then he sold it.
Yeah.
For a lot more money than he would have if he'd have moved.
And
them.
But how much
it's
of
not
that is
like
just
they
the
play the
NBA?
Knicks every game.
No, for sure.
What you talking 4 times a year?
Yeah.
I mean, heck, you could look at Sacramento. Lakers fans take over. Golden State.
Sure.
I mean, it happens when you have these legacy franchises. But when they play The Orlando Magic, it's not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for
I think
sure.
it just Knicks fans, they travel. They're going to be out there.
Yeah.
Lakers, Warriors.
I mean,
the
we
Celtics.
experienced the Warriors aren't
Right.
even as close as
Right,
these guys.
right.
And
So
they-
I just think it's just because of that matchup. That's why you see that.
Yeah. It's tough.
I just don't like it, man. I know. No, you guys are right. You guys are definitely right. I just don't.
I get it. I don't like it.
Before we get on out of here and let you guys do your thing, did you see John Fisher get booed, or not booed, but did not get cheered in Vegas?
What did he get?
Well, basically,
whole lot of nothing.
Sounding silence.
Yeah, he got introduced and he said Las Vegas A's, and the moderator says, "You guys like the sound of that?" And there was silence, and then she says, "You guys alive back there?" And it was bad.
Really, really bad.
It was bad. All right, we got to get out of here. Outstanding show. Thank you to Brenden Nunes. And like I said, if you missed our Kings Roundtable, where we break down everything with De'Aaron Fox and the media conundrum, which we think is maybe being put to bed. De'Aaron spoke with the media after practice today. Check it out. It's up on YouTube right now. Thank you to Simone, Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles. We will talk to you tomorrow. Drive Guys got you up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Sunday on Sactown Sports. 4 teams battle to get to Vegas for Super Bowl